Where be my camera? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Froggy Stonks. Nothing I say is financial advice. Entertainment purposes only. Bing. Getting ready to go over in a Twitter space call. Talk about the Financial Services Committee, the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services GameStop report, which basically goes over the events of January 27th and 28th. When Robinhood decided they were going to remove the buy button, the DTCC decided they were going to waive collateral requirements, and Citadel got away with financial murder. So I'm going to get this call set up, and we're going to get to it. We're going to take some panelists up. We're going to talk about it and try to come to some sort of conclusion on what we need to do next, because inaction is exactly what they want. Sending it out, getting it here. What's good, everybody? Going. Oh, nice. I broke my phone stand. Trying to recalibrate that up here, and we'll get. You guys could. Got a couple things lined up. As people come into the call, I'm going to play clip back from February with Congressman Representative Juan Vargas, California, who was basically in charge at one of the points on the Financial Services Committee, questioning Ken Griffin directly about the event. Play a small clip. Then we'll get into some conversation about the GameStop U.S. House Committee on Financial Services report. It's extremely important. I think the key topic I want to go over tonight is the inaction of this community and the inaction of retail investors has let them get away with this for over a year now. And it stems from different people in the community who like to come in and discredit ideas or movement incentives and scream the flood of, oh, it's collusion, it's this, it's that. A lot of people are saying things out of ignorance because they don't know what they're talking about. And the bottom line is, at this point in time, we should have already had a group of people lobbying in Congress to fix this. And if we're not going to do it, then I'm not going to cry foul anymore, because we're letting them get away with murder just as much as U.S. Congress is and the regulators are. So we'll go over the key details of the financial services report after I play this clip. Let me see who shows up. The amount of attendance in this call too is going to give me some idea on how involved people actually want to be on. But feel free to come up and speak. We're going to stay on topic tonight. I'll go ahead and play this clip. We'll just get going. People can come as they want. If they're busy with other calls instead of doing this, then they don't really care about the stocks. Here's the clip from Rep. Juan Vargas in the congressional hearing in the House committee when he was questioning Ken Griffin.
Did anyone in your organization, in your first contact, Robinhood? With respect to GameStop and what we're obviously talking about. understand that, but did you talk to them about restricting thing to prevent people from buying, on the buying in GameStop? Anybody in your organization?
Okay, so that was Ken Griffin, bold-faced lying in a congressional hearing under oath to Representative Juan Vargas, California 51st District. So far since then, nothing has happened to them. There's been little to no regulation put in place to fix the issue. Everything is still in the comments period. And that money that should have gone to retail at that point in time is now gone in losses incurred by these hedge funds that could not meet margin the day of. And if anybody has went in and read the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services GameStop report, how the meme stock market event exposed troubling business practices, inadequate risk management, and the need for legislative and regulatory reform, have not read that yet, then you literally do not care about the stock. I'm so beyond this idea that we're just going to sit here and hold and that we're not going to take any action whatsoever as a group of investors to the Congress or to AMC as a company, because they've gotten away with it for 12 months, and the CEO of Apex Clearinghouse even said it will happen again. And if everybody didn't see, last week or the week before, TD Ameritrade shut down the ability to buy call options on Redbox. They did it again. They literally did it again. March 31st, AMC ran to $34. They halted it. Citadel took all the orders through their own exchange, caused volatility spike, and halted the stock. That was because, in theory, I believe Melvin Capital covered some of their shorts on the IWM, which caused AMC to run. So it's happened 2 or 3 more times since then, and we've done absolutely nothing about it. I would hate to say I think the person who's probably done the most is Dave Lauer, but it's not enough. It's not even close to it. So we need to discuss the key findings in the report and then talk about where to go from here, because if we're just going to sit here and keep holding, we're slowly just falling into their trap, which was wait it out, bore us to death, and that's it. I mean, everybody's getting bored. Everybody's getting stressed out. The economy's getting worse. We're worrying more about putting fuel in our tanks, how much that costs, than fixing the problem of the amazing, huge theft that took place on January 28th of hundreds of billions of dollars that should have went to. I would say, what's up, PJ?
ever been any. So
Well, here's the crazy thing. It's been under our noses the whole time. There's already a law firm that filed a FINRA arbitration claim on an investor's behalf. I know you guys heard about the 27-year-old trucker from New Jersey who won a suit against Robinhood last year. The law firm Lorio Altamirano LLP filed a FINRA arbitration claim on the investor's behalf. At the arbitration hearing, attorneys George Altamirano and August M. Lorio represented the investor. In the statement of claim, the claimant asserted causes of action included breach of contract, breach of implied covenant of good faith, fair dealing, negligence, fiduciary responsibility, and unjust enrichment. The sole arbitrator, John James McGovern Jr., decided Robinhood Financial and Robinhood Securities were jointly and severely liable for and shall pay to claimant interest on the above stated sum at the rate of 10% per annum from January 28, 2021 through the included December 10th of 2020. There's already been an arbitration claim that is won. There's already been a suit that's been won. And there's a class action complaint filed on February 4, 2021 in the U.S. District Court for Northern District of California, which is alleging several brokerages, fund companies, clearinghouses conspired to prevent retail investors from buying stocks like GameStop, stripping them of their rights to control their investments, which is 100% true. So we have this already going on in California. All we need to do is consolidate as a group. I'll get the phone numbers for the attorneys that are filing the class action, and we need to go all in on this and end it. When they have 100,000 people call them, provide the data for this class action, they're going to see that it's worthwhile to go after Citadel and the other market makers and brokers. And when we do that, we have legal justification to go to Congress, say, hey, they are breaking the 1934 Securities Exchange Acts and manipulating stock prices in the market. But we got to quit fucking around and thinking that Adam Aaron is going to do something legally because he's the CEO of a company. He's not CEO of retail. We got to do it ourselves, and we got to show the world that we're not going to let it happen again, or it will happen again. AMC's finally going to start kicking up, and they're going to do it again, and they're going to get away with it. Yeah, he's the CEO of the company. You can't sit and wait for him to go to court for retail investors. He's running a company. It's just not going to happen.
And I and he
I say Monday morning, I'm going to call him. I'm going to call Wes Christian and I'm going to say, hey, retail investor, what's going on with the money that was raised? I'm going to get the details and say, are you willing to invest a sizable portion of the retail community on what happened on January 28th? If he says yes, I'm going to start pushing to get money into that escrow so we can start making some progress at any level in this, because if everybody's going to sit here and continue to buy and hold the stock and they're going to keep suppressing it down under $12 while Cinemark is sitting at what, 13, 14, 15, it's just, it's a waste of time to do this anymore. If we're not going to fight, if we're not going to put the effort in and fight, we're going to pass this on to our kids and grandkids and they're going to be dealing with the same bullshit that we've been dealing with for a long time. So
that's pay out
yep. Yep. Absolutely. What's up, Sugar?
Country don't know about all those that but as a retail, if we get all together on at least on one page, man, like forget about who has how many people in space cars, who has more followers and all that. Let's come on one like find a solution. I'm not rich by any, but I'll put whatever money, because this is what we plans for. We've been here for 8. I've been here for almost 13. Like we've been buying and holding, going to watch move. 1 billion. Top Gun did 1 billion. Think retail has 500 million? I don't think so. So like we are doing the best we can, but this is what we need right now. It's solutions, not just sit back and let them do whatever the fuck they want. We live in America, man. Come on, you guys. Like we guys can do a lot. Like look with the I don't want to get into these politics with the Roe versus Wade and all that. Those people are already on the streets doing some whatever they have to do. I don't know whether it was good or bad or whatever. I don't. But this is going to be another distraction in they don't want the people to know what's going under the rug. People outside this movement, Spence, you won't believe 70 know how these crooks are ripping our country apart.
Oh,
Like
I
my
know.
fam, like it's crazy. Like I would not have never known if I would not have joined this movement with all of you guys. But the sad part is we are letting them take it. Like do whatever the fuck they want, man.
Well, and
This is
that's where we need to start moving forward. This bull crap with, oh, don't do that, don't we get collusion, we could get in trouble, we could, it's all bullshit, man. All the talk about FBI agents and I'm working with this and I'm working with that, it's bullshit. We need
and I
to
want to
get
piggyback on that. I'm sorry because this aggravates me. Sugar, you're right. Need to get together on it. But whoever's not on the train, you're getting left at the station.
Yep.
Because I'm done with these. I'm done with every which way is a bad way except my way, and that's buy and hold. Yeah, you could buy and hold while we're barreling down that lawsuit highway. I'm done. I don't care if some guy, verbally attacks me on Twitter because he's 9 years old and thinks that a lawsuit is not the way to fly. Fine. Keep on thinking like that. I don't really care. I'm moving ahead. So really, seriously, whoever wants to be with us can be with us. If you want to trash and act the fool, go right ahead.
Yep.
PJ, the thing is, this is a big player's game. It's not like little kid's game. Like, oh, he said something, I'm going to unfollow him, I'm going to block them. This is literally your money. This is literally your livelihoods, your kids' future, your future. They're literally taken right in front of our eyes, and we are letting them do it.
Sugar, ignore those people. Ignore them when they say, "Oh, whatever they say to not engage our rights as Americans to take legal action." Ignore them because we don't know who they are. They could be short sellers. They could be plants. They could be shills. Who knows?
Well,
just ignore them and let's just move forward.
Here's what's crazy is the people that were causing problems over computer share and direct registration are so fucking wrong, it's not even funny. Computer share was set up to take away the power of the DTCC in direct registering your shares so that they couldn't do what they did. The DTCC was in on this. The DTCC waived $9.7 billion of collateral deposit requirements on January 28th, which let Robinhood and all these other brokers off the hook. The problem is Robinhood wasn't even connected to a public market. They were only facilitating orders with payment for order flow through Citadel's dark pool. It's absolutely crazy.
Exactly, because everybody is in this together. Spans from brokers to all these people, hedge funds. Everybody is in this together. We is all we got, but we have a lot. If we look at, oh, thank God you sent that Amy back, man.
Yeah,
I don't want
everybody's
no
welcome.
patience for that.
Everybody's welcome except for people that were spreading FUD for the past 12 months.
We are done with that stuff.
Yeah.
Now,
Hey. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt. I'm just jacked up. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Sugar. Sugar. So, guys, I posted up to the top a tweet I made. Can we please write to Juan Vargas, to Brad Sherman, to Maxine Waters, to Senator Warren? We need to let them know that we are not going away. This is what we think. This is what we know. And I'm not getting gaslighted anymore by some prick named Ken Griffin. Not doing it.
So if you haven't read the GameStop report, if you have not read the Financial Services House Committee GameStop report yet, word for word, then I almost don't even want to hear you say anything. Because if you don't understand what was found, how it's wrong, and the fixes that they recommended, you're not going to know what you're talking about enough to make a proper statement in the space call. And it's beyond me why anybody holding AMC stock has not read this report yet. If you're here to fight and you don't know what's in the report, please go read it before you come up and comment. Because I don't want to spin circles all night talking about the same stuff over and over again that I have to continuously answer in my DMs to people who fail to do their own research and come in with intelligible fucking information. Ooh, I need a moderator. I'm getting botted out like crazy.
Hey, you guys, share the call too, please. Don't forget to share the call.
But see, Spence, this is the thing. This is the thing. If we all start making noise, if we all start making steps, taking, doing something legally with this, I mean, look at our stock, man. It's already at 12. What else are they going to do? Take us to $2?
Yeah, they will.
I mean, the way they have the control, they are controlling everything. God knows what they're going to do.
I know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to do it again. They're going to do exactly what they did. The CEO of Apex Clearinghouse said, yes, this will happen again. It's in the financial services report, word for word.
But you know why why they will do this, right? They don't want an average Joe standing up to them like we did. This has never happened in the history of 200 years of stock market. Not this kind of a movement, not these many people, but all we got to do is forget about the cloud, man. Just for 3 months. Forget about the cloud. Forget about who got more space calls, who got more followers. Let's for God's sake, just come once for the sake of the movement and people. Let's just come together. Let's, whoever can give money, and let us get together, find a credible lawyer, and let's go with this thing. Let's see where it goes. Let's at least try.
We've got two right now. We've got West Christian and we got Altamirano LLP, one of which has already won an arbitration case against Robinhood. So we have that. That's taken care of. I got two people I'm calling Monday. We know everybody needs to go read the GameStop House Financial Services Committee report so they understand exactly what happened. And here's a quote from Bill Capuzzi on the GameStop report. He's the CEO of Apex Clearing Corporation. And I quote, "And so if the question is, do I think it's going to happen again? The answer is yes, for sure. No doubt about it. How it's going to manifest itself, I'm not sure, but for sure it's going to happen again." That's in the report. So if we sit here and wait and we start running again and it happens again, we're all going to look like the biggest jackasses on the planet Earth.
And that's another thing. If people think that these people will let our stock just go like that up without any kind of bullshit they did back in last year, that people, I don't know what you're living in, man. They'll do whatever it takes. But if we will have some kind of legal action, they will think twice before doing something about it,
So they're hoping that the community is made up of enough people that are too afraid or too, I don't know, to take legal action. They're not counting on people that will move full steam ahead with this. And that's us. And if nobody wants to come with us, like I said prior, that's fine. We don't have to convince anybody. We really don't. If people want to sit comfortable in the fact that they were robbed and they don't want to do anything about it, but tweet and try to gain followers in the whole 9 yards, let them. Who cares?
Well, I'm calling West Christian Monday, calling the California law firm that won the arbitration.
And I'm going to contact all of those Sherman, and I'm going to contact all of those offices on Monday too, because we need to let them know that we plan on taking legal action. Because here's the thing, they're going to get caught up in it too. The very people that are put in place to protect us have fed us to the dogs.
Yep.
And this is not what their jobs are about.
Well, I believe Swing posted that Maxine Waters took campaign donations from the DTCC. So Congress, even the House Financial Services Committee, elected officials are implicated in this. You've seen Unusual Whales tweets about insider trading in Congress. It's not going to end unless we do it, unless we end it.
They're all colluding, and I find it really sickening. I find it so disturbing, you guys, that I can't trust anything that anyone in government or anyone with so much money that they may have an agenda. I cannot trust them any longer. After seeing this whole thing go down from January 28th, 2021 up until this report, it sickens me.
Here's the biggest problem with all of this, people. There's probably 3/4 of this room who have not read the GameStop report. They've probably just retweeted what they've seen online, don't fully understand what it is and how serious the implications in it are against Citadel, Robinhood, Apex, all these market makers, the DTC, and other. Sorry, I had to boot Amy. I'm literally not dealing with Amy or any of the short seller clowns.
Hey, Spence, you're not curious just a little bit? Because honestly, this affects them too.
I'm not wasting my time with them. They've spent the last year doing nothing but eating us FUD on the stock, including not filing legal action. So no. What's up, Swain?
Yeah, I encourage everyone looking at opensecrets.org. They keep a list of all financial donations. And, you know, with Maxine Waters, I mean, she does obviously chair the House Financial Services Committee. So it's completely, in one hand, it's completely understandable. But basically every major bank and prime broker in the industry gave money to her, in addition to the DTCC themselves, which I find that interesting given that why the DTCC is making political donations when they're a self-regulatory organization. That seems very odd to me. And Robinhood, Robinhood also gave money. It wasn't a ton, mind you. DTCC's donation was much, much larger than Robinhood's, but Robinhood still gave something like $5,000 or $7,000 or something to her campaign. So anyway, it's all that information's out there. The toughest part is to try and understand where super PAC money and that type of stuff comes in. So this is just like individual companies' names from the Open Secrets website. So I can post a link up top.
Well, and here's a comment from YouTube, from Arby, whoever that is. They already said you can't sue the DTCC. Every case against them has been dismissed. Shaking my head. That's the type of bullshit that bad actors are feeding into this community. I just read word for word an article where it said they won an arbitration case that's been approved and settled on. So I don't know what it's stupid shit like that.
Spence, you know what? These are people that don't understand. They don't understand the legal process. They don't understand. They read one sentence somewhere on Facebook or social media somewhere, and they run with it, and they can't think bigger than that. So just don't let them get you upset. This is what I mean. They get us pissed. We kind of like, whatever. We kind of back off. Well, I'm not backing off this time. I'm done. Something has to be done.
PJ, now is a time. Either people have to decide. Either they're just going to sit back and take everything as it comes, or they're going to fight for what they believe in and how bad you want it. If you want it that bad, then don't worry about what people say. And I still can't believe, man, every time we try to do something or get up with idea, maybe people just don't want that idea to go through because they are already scared that this might work. But at least give it a shot. At least try it. See what happens. Without changing, nothing will change. We'll keep buying and holding, I have for another year, 2 years, whatever it takes. I am not selling because I bought at $50, man. But we have to do something. We have to take steps. Just can't sit back and let them do whatever the fuck they want. We live in America, for God's sake. Dude, I came from India. If I had to see this shit back in India, I would have done some shit back there, but we live in America. Like, how can you guys let these people just take away your money right in front of your eyes and not just do nothing about it?
Hey, Spence, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I got like 10K on it, no problem. But I know Amy has been, she's been a thorn here. But she wrote to me. She goes, I think Robinhood fucked up, but not for the reasons they think they did. And I think Wes is not who they need to be talking to. No lawyer would ask the class in a class action suit to pay. I can actually help them.
Amy's full of shit.
Yeah, that's a lie because my attorney also, and I don't want to interrupt, but the attorney that I'm speaking to also wants money up front. This is not, so here's the thing. This is not going to, if we were to win a class action, this is a non-monetary class action. This is a lawsuit that is proving a point and changing policy. We're not suing for millions upon millions of dollars. It's not a lawsuit like that. So therefore, an attorney, the attorneys are not going to do anything on contingency because one is these lawsuits are hard to win. Wes Christian knows it, Manny knows it, everybody knows it because of what you're going against. So they know that everything is non-monetary. So if you
Amy has done nothing but disturb this community since day one, so she's not involved in this. Two, what PJ just said, the point is to win a class action lawsuit so that we have legal priority to go to US Congress and start implicating these congresspersons who are involved in this, and therefore going to the Financial Services Committee and demanding that a full-scale investigation be done with the DOJ backing it. We're not here. If you want to get your money back, once this class action is won, you can take it to arbitration and you can do what the 27-year-old trucker from New Jersey did and have your money settled out. That's what this is going to allow us to do.
100%, you're 100% right, because when we discussed all the phases of a class action lawsuit last year, the very end was that if we win this non-monetary class action, that gives people, not only us, you guys, but people like Adam Aaron or other people that were long the stock who lost money, that gives them the ability to sue the market makers and the prime brokers to win their money back. Okay, individually, not as a class.
The GameStop report has every single piece of information we need, including evidence of Ken Griffin lying under oath about if Citadel was talking directly to Robinhood about GameStop and AMC, which they were, and it shows that, but also the collusion between Robinhood, Citadel, other market makers, the DTCC, and FINRA, along with the US Congress, showing that they knew these stocks were supposed to squeeze out. They were over leveraged, over shorted, and it led to January 28th, where they basically shut the market down, set the new standard for global investment, which is why we saw the LME shut their market down. They did the same thing. Now we're sitting here a year later from 71 down to $10 with a company that's thriving, and we're no further ahead as retail investors than we were a year ago. It's time to go.
And let me put it like this. Say you're walking down the street, you get jumped by 20 people, they kick the shit out of you, you lose all your teeth. You sue for that money for your teeth back, and they laugh at you. Or you fight for the right to have them arrested, and they just laugh at you, and they smoke their cigars, and they go on their merry little way, and there you are, toothless. Okay? That's us right now. We have to fight back.
Yep. And this is... Go ahead, Sugar.
I understand a lot of people didn't, when Mark came, a lot of people, didn't, he's as blunt he is, but, that man had a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about legal issues. And I don't think anybody has more knowledge about legal issues than that man or the lawyers and people. Like let's put people like all differences behind, let whatever happened before, if we can request and do something, a man of his stature and a man of his knowledge, if he can get people, know a lot of lawyers and stuff, if he can help us, I mean, what do we have to lose with it, man? We are already at $12. Let's just think for once. Let's just all come together and leave that control. I want a control of this group. I want to have control over this group. We are one group. We are all apes. We are all retail. And if we can all come together just this once, let's at least try.
Sugar,
all these.
I love you to death. We're not all coming together on this. Yeah. I mean, at some point we have to say enough is enough. I'm not trying to get anybody on board. I'm doing it. Spence is doing it. Jen is doing it. Swing is doing it. You're doing it. I don't care about anybody else. If anybody else wants to willfully join, that's fine. If you want to throw shade, get out of my way.
Look at how many people are A, either not in this call, or B, hosting another call knowing we were going to talk about this tonight. It's ridiculous. So, if people want to come in and work with us, you're welcome to hop on the train. But if you're going to talk the big game but not walk the big walk, then get the fuck out of my way. That's all I got to say about that.
That's right.
Guys, can I get in here?
Yeah, go ahead,
for a second. Hey, guys, I hear what everybody's saying, and I think trying to read the names and Sugar. I like the way he's also saying. I think everybody's right. And one of the most important things to me right now, this is a very important time. And I think coming together, and I understand a lot of times, we've been kind of like talking shit about each other and all that bullshit, but this is the time to where we need to put shit aside and just, first of all, us, without the Shields, without the Marks, without the Amy's, first come together. And I understand that sometimes it's hard. Come together in a situation to at least just say, all right, let's at least talk about it. Yes, a lot of people are not here. A lot of people have not read the fucking report. A lot of people rather be talking about sports right now. But if they're holding, if they have it, eventually, and it's not like we need them, but we do. If we're 100, but we can be 1,000, and we can be 10,000, the more we are, the better.
I agree 100%. But you know what I think too, honestly? So right now I have the name of about 800. No, I don't want to say 800. That's not true. Probably like 600 apes that are serious about suing. And I have their names and their telephone numbers from a year ago. And I don't know if they're still available. I don't know if they still hold. I don't know. But we don't need to go out into the community and say, oh, who wants to join us? Come and join us, because people will get on board once we get this train rolling. True. How many people, let me show of hands, how many people would fight for a class action lawsuit? How many people would be willing to be named plaintiff in a class action lawsuit against the DTCC? Show me your hands.
PJ, but I think Spencer was saying, anybody and everybody, especially right now in this case, will say and raise their hands. See, raising your hand is the easy part. Doing it is going to be basically where it all comes down to. I've been in situations to where it's cheap. It's all about act. I rarely, because it's like, I don't like the bullshit. And it's like, sometimes it's like, I just want to listen. And I've been listening and sometimes I don't even get in spaces, either sports or bullshit or this or that or each other, and it's like, to me, here for what you guys are here for, and it's also what other people have to disagree. And in this situation, we have to say, hey, short, skinny, and let, first of all, if we right, we have to hands, because together we're going to be able to stop these motherfuckers. If you want to hold hands with Spencer by yourself, and I want to hold hands with Sugar by myself, you know what? It's going to get harder. The more we are, the stronger we're going to be. At least
right, and smart people will jump on the train.
Here's the deal. We're going forward. We're going to talk topic points. We're going to talk key points on where we're going to take this Monday morning. If you're on board, you're on board. If you're not, you're going to get left in the dust. That's the bottom line.
And cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Green, that's, brother, that's the thing. A lot of people have been tried here for last 18 months. We came up with so many ideas. And every time somebody came up with ideas, some other person, just because they don't want to lose control, it should not be control over certain groups. We are You're one right. group. We should not divide ourselves, and we came with a lot of ideas before, and every time we wanted to do it, people shut down. Oh, yep. It's Mark. Mark is a short seller, this and that. Then somebody came out with, oh, they're from Tara's group. Oh, they're from Rocket's group. Oh, fuck every group. We are from one group, man. We are AMC. We call ourselves retail apes. If this thing doesn't affect your money, if this thing doesn't affect your future, your kids' future, your livelihood, then that's fine. Then don't do nothing about it. But if it affects your money and your livelihood and your future, then let's come together. Just this once.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I mean, whatever you guys need, It's like, if I need to go post fucking flyers, I need to go fucking march somewhere else. I need to go fucking raise some hell somewhere. Well, and I'm just being fucking sarcastic, but I'm in. But I will say something that I think that obviously, like Spencer saying, or PJ, once we get this shit going and something's getting done, other people are gonna jump in for sure. I totally agree with that.
Let's move forward. We all know about the Kumbaya community stuff. What do we need to do? What do we have? What do we have, and what do we need to do going forward?
Right. If we took this stance a year ago, we would probably be in the discovery phase by now, instead of licking our wounds at $10 a share.
So we have two options on lawyers already ready to go that are already actively West Christian and Altamirano LLP in California. There's people that I'm going to call Monday. Everyone else should be also calling them, requesting information on January 28th lawsuits and whatnot. The second, third is obviously we have a little bit of support in the group, so people are hearing about this, but we need to have a consistent message. The message is we are filing for a class action against Robinhood and Citadel for the events that took place on January 27th and 28th affecting AMC and G. Once that class action is filed, if it's not already by the California law firm, and we just need to jump on board, we need to spread the word massively to everybody that was invested at that time frame. Start getting your internal documents together. Your statements from Robinhood or Schwab or whoever you were with at that time, get your trades together and your timestamps and have it ready to go so we can submit it to lawyers. Number four is once this is filed, we need to make sure the lawyers are going to be filing proper documents to subpoena internal documents from these brokers and market makers. More than what they've got in this GameStop report, although what they do have in the GameStop report is very damning to begin with. What's up, Swing?
I was gonna say, one thing to consider, and I'm sure obviously lawyers can give us advice on this type of thing, but if you are a registered shareholder, meaning you've gone through the computer share process of either GME or AMC, that just shows a whole nother level of proof of ownership of the company. Obviously, it won't show it as of January 28th, but it now is a great time to kind of reinforce that message of if you are a person that's willing to go through with a lawsuit, you should also be willing to have your name on record with the company and have, like, I voted online, so it wasn't a problem, and I know that my vote happened, but I was going through my mail. I just got my mail this week from Schwab on my AMC shares in the mail. I should have got them months ago. I just got them this week. That's proof of kind of what's going on in this process. Why is Schwab sending out that information so late, even after the vote even happened?
Why do you think Adam Aaron was very specific on saying statistics on voting metrics, and the fact that he said if you don't get your proxy, you need to call DK King or whatever, which I never got my proxy from Fidelity. And I called DK King and they had no idea what I was talking about. So I'm recontacting investor relations now. Adam Aaron put out specific details on how many people had voted on the proxy, and he sounded disappointed in it. And more than likely, it's because people are not getting them. It's insane. But what Swing said about computer share, the important thing to know is the DTCC waived $9.2 billion in collateral requirements on brokers and market makers during January 27th and 28th. The DTC holds shares in good faith for companies so that they can be active on exchanges like the NYSE. And right now, Adam Aaron has every right in the world to file a no faith clause against the DTCC for share management. if they wouldn't have waived collateral requirements, AMC would have squoze probably well over $100. And Adam Aaron and company could have came out later with a share offering that could have cleared every debt off their books within the year. The company and the stock price were completely manipulated, which is illegal in accordance with the 1934 Securities Exchange Act, Section 9. So it's super important to understand two things. One, direct registration takes the power away from ComputerShare to be able to do that again. And two, these entities, super brokers, market makers, regulators, and Congress, we're all colluding together to fix this problem. That's why we need a class action lawsuit, so that we have the legal representation in the proper documentation to go to the U.S. Congress and demand action in the form of a lawsuit. We need to. This is going to have to spread through Congress as well. So it's extremely important to be focused and on target. Which right now, so far in the call, we know 100% that West Christian still has money that was consolidated by apes early on in the movement. And we know that Altamirano LLP in California already has a class action lawsuit filed in this case, and that there was an arbitration clause won by an individual ape against Robinhood already. So we have justification to do it. Two, everybody needs to, three, everybody needs to go read the financial services report, page by page. You don't got to read it all at once. Take a week, read it, but read it and understand it, and then go back and revisit the Financial Services Committee hearing with Ken Griffin and Vlad Tenoff, because you can't go to a lawyer not knowing what you're talking about. They're just going to be confused and turn you away. So yeah, there's our steps forward for that right now. And I will say, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't believe any lawyer, any securities attorney at this point worth his weight in gold would not understand. If any ape called him up and said, hey, I own AMC or I own GME, this is what I'm thinking. Everybody knows what's going on. They're just waiting. So I don't think that you have to be so articulate or so well-spoken or whatever to be able to get involved in this class action. You just have to be willing to be named as a plaintiff. And we need at least 12 to 1,500 names to move forward. I think we can get that easily. And I don't believe that you have to be, I don't believe, so I just received a DM from Alex, I think, who said, I support you guys 100%, but I didn't own AMC or GME the day they took away the buy button. It doesn't matter, because the fact that we're retail traders and they took away the buy button, anybody could be a plaintiff in the lawsuit. What they did was wrong, and it didn't matter if we took losses. I mean, it would matter later on if you took a loss and they say, okay, now we're clear to sue for monetary purposes, and yeah, that would be great. But right now, it doesn't matter. Whether you held it or not on January 28th, it doesn't matter.
Important thing to note is they're still manipulating the stock. If you hold it right now, your stock is being manipulated. We were correct about January 28th. We were correct about Ken Griffin lying. We were correct about Gasparino lying. We were correct about every single theory and thesis all the way up until today, which leads me to believe that, yes, there are billions of synthetic shares out there right now that's keeping our stock suppressed. And Adam Aaron came out himself during the annual and said, we have been talking with the NYSE about the failure to delivers, and we plan to do so in the future. Failure to delivers are almost a sure sign of naked shorting. That's one of the biggest things right now that everybody needs to know. Your stock that you own of AMC and GME is still being manipulated to this day.
I had a question for you, Spence. This is Dr. Block Gasparino.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I just signed on to the call, so I've been traveling, so I hadn't had a chance to actually read the full report, but I've also just seen tidbits that people have been posting. But I'm curious as to what Adam Aaron opinion is since that report came out, or has anyone heard, or has he tweeted or said anything?
He
Because-
actually tweeted the report out, which kind of stirred up all of us. He hasn't made a public statement on it yet, but I hope he does. If he does, I will be extremely happy. But I would say the one thing is Adam Aaron's got to run AMC. You know, I'm sure they have legal action going on for the manipulation of the company and the stock and the shareholders, but we as retail shareholders have way more freedom and power to go after these guys in a class action than Adam Aaron would, seeing as he's tied down by, you know, government regulations and such and how he operates the company.
And you know what? I think just by the fact that he tweeted that and said the report was very important speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's knowledge, you know, to be gained there. The question is going down this particular path going to give us a result that we all want in a timely fashion? Because not everybody's on the same timetable here. There's some older people, younger people, some people have retirement investments. So going down this road or this process of actually filing a class action, what's the timetable on that as far as
we literally could have filed it 12 months ago and been done with it already, but too many people in the community were like, oh no, this is going to lead us down the wrong path. Oh, this is going to cause collusion problems. It's a matter of, if we would have filed it 12 months ago, we would have already been in discovery. Now we're sitting here starting the process a year later, and we look like complete jackasses who've been taken advantage of by the market.
Also, you know what, Spence, I want to speak to that complete jackass thing because, but first let me just speak to Dr. Block Gasparino for a sec. So this class action will in no way, shape, or form have any direct effect on the squeeze. It might help it along a little bit, but that's not the reason why I'm going in it or anybody else, I believe, is doing it, right? We're doing it to fix the system and to highlight the collusion and the outright nastiness of the folks involved in colluding. So that being said, it's not this will not be a monetary class action in the beginning. Secondly, maybe, you know what, Spence, I think everything happens for a reason, right? So maybe we had to wait to file until this report came out.
Yep.
I mean, that's a very good possibility. And now every single securities attorney has this report in their hands.
I agree with that. Yeah, we didn't have the evidence. We have empirical proof now, some data.
Yeah,
before it was all speculation, right?
Well, guess what? And it wasn't done on Reddit. It was done in Congress. Oh. So, and no shade on Reddit because they probably could have done the same thing, and I'm sure they did. But I mean, this is a big deal.
Most of this data was out a while ago. It just wasn't officially put out. It was out in congressional reports, but it wasn't a completed, finalized product. But everything that's in this report, up and including the money that Citadel sent over to Melvin Capital, is clear signs of collusion between market makers, brokers, hedge funds, and regulators. And since they shared money, Citadel gave billions of dollars to Melvin to meet their margin requirements, stating that, oh, it was a loan because Gabe Plotkin's the best investor of the generation. They shared money. That is RICO. They pooled their money together. They broke the law. That is RICO to a T.
We could take down the house.
And you know what the laws are on the book doesn't mean that they'll actually enforce them.
But beyond that, far as RICO goes, I mean, think about it. The DTCC and the NSCC, what they did far as waiving the margin requirements. I mean, if you think about what that organization is, it is a MOP. It's the member brokers basically said, hey, a few of our member brokers, because what was it, 5 or 6 from the report? I can't remember right now. I'm not in front of my computer, but whatever number it was, you guys are all out of bounds as far as your margin requirements. And so we're going to waive all of you that $9.2 billion. So the rest of us don't have to to pay the bill, because we would end up having to pay the bill. So they, in itself, is collusion. It's a self-regulatory organization, which, you know, in some aspects, the whole purpose of that organization is to collude.
Yeah.
Like, they're kind of doing the work for us as far as RICO goes, in that they've already created an organization with basically the purpose to collude with one another so that they can continue making money the way that they want to.
Yeah,
That's a great point.
biggest problem is there's members of Citadel on the DTCC. Citadel has people in the DTCC. It's absolutely ridiculous that some of the public exchanges require companies to be part of the DTCC, and that your shares have to be held with the DTC. And that's why the whole thing with computer share and direct registration is important, because every share that you register with computer share takes that management away from the DTC. It's direct registered on the book with the company. So in that, one, computer share is another process, a much slower process of taking that power away from them. But two, if we ever do get to the point where we can prove we have enough direct registered shares to show that there's synthetics out there past the legally issued float, that's another point to prove to Congress that there's massive corruption and fraud going on with Citadel and their monopolistic company structure. The day that we prove there's more shares out there than legally issued, this whole thing will blow up, because nobody's going to want to put their money in the stock market once they find out that that's what they're doing. Currently, they're doing the same thing with Revlon. They're doing the exact same thing with Revlon. It's absolutely crazy. So again, for people just joining the call, main point so far is we know from the past that a group of apes got a bunch of money together and took it to West Christian. Nothing has been done with that. PJ's been working on it. I'm going to call West Christian tomorrow, and I'm going to try to identify where they're sitting at in this process. I'm also going to call Alts Murano, LLP in California, who has an active class action lawsuit filed against Robinhood. I'm going to figure out where they're sitting and what we can do with that. And then what everybody needs to do Monday, and I mean everybody, need to call Maxine Waters' office in DC and demand, and be respectful, but say respectfully, I'm demanding that this Financial Services Committee report be taken in front of the Inspector General of the USG. It's crazy that the United States government Inspector General is sitting idly on this while Congress has damning evidence against these market makers, which personally, in my opinion, contributes to national security risks, which have led to our economic collapse that we're facing right now. So those are three things that are going to happen, and I encourage everybody to call West Christian and them. But if you do, remember this. You've got to have your shit in order. You got to know what you're talking about. You got to be respectful and professional, because if you're not, they're just going to hang up on us, and they're going to continue to hang up on anybody else who calls after you. So that's what I would recommend for Monday.
Spence, maybe you could just, instead of pounding his office with calls, why don't you just do it and report back, maybe in a tweet or something like that, so that we can all take a breath. They can take a breath, because if they start getting calls, you know, that maybe are just too much for a 5-person law firm, or, you know, an 8-person law firm to handle. And that being said, too, I don't know how much money is left over, but I do know there is. So, and you can, you know, get that straight with Wes too.
Yeah, I'll call Wes and the other law firm, and I'll report back this week once I get in contact with them. But I highly encourage everybody to start calling Maxine Waters' office and Representative Vargas,
Sherman, Warren, it's all in that tweet. Call them and just say what I'm going to do personally is I'm going to call and I'm going to ask them to report back to me on what the congressman or woman is going to do about this report. You can't just give a report and show collusion and show wrongdoing and then do nothing. So I'm going to ask them what they plan on doing. What's their plan moving forward?
in the report.
Hey,
they
can
did-
I say something? Hey, Jess, remember about 7 months ago, I was bringing up the whole West Christian thing?
I don't, but you could remind me, please.
So I brought this up 6-7 months ago, and I called West Christian's office. You don't got to worry about him being anybody not wanting to talk. He wants to talk to the apes. He talked to me for 25 minutes. We talked about it. I'm telling you, he told me back then, he said, Adam Aaron and the people that work for the board, they have a letter. If you go to the nakedtruthinfo.com, there's all the forms are already filled out for you. All you got to do is click on the forms, fill it out, your name, your position, whatever you have, whatever you want out of it, and you send it on to the board members. And he's got names and numbers of all the people on the board. And basically, he's saying that back then, this was 6 months ago. He said this is where they're at. They've already wrote in the board, CEO Adam. They need Adam to step up, do what he's got to do to get things rolling with the naked shorting and all that stuff. So we got to press everybody, not just we got to press like he's saying, Maxine and everybody. But yeah, I brought this up a while ago, and I've always brought it up because I talked to him, and I like I said, Spence, you give him a very cordial guy. I like that guy. He's from Texas. He'll talk to you for 20 minutes. I'm telling you, he's good people.
Yeah, I'll call him Monday and figure out where they're sitting at in the process. The biggest thing is once I call him, we've got all this information in front of us. I'm going to call him. You said it was nakedtruth.info, right?
You know what?
Yeah. It's kind of tricky to find it.
It is. I'm having a problem with it now because I think you have to put the HTTPS. If you go to nakedtruth.com, you get some truth about plastic surgery. But I think you have to put in HTTP naked truth.
No, it's not that. I remember I had it on my Twitter. I used to have it on it as my thing, but I heard a while back that if you got websites, it makes you look suspicious and shit. So I took it down. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, here. I got it. You know what?
It's a private website, so it's going to tell you don't have proper security to view it. You have to go and click advanced settings and then click yes, go to this website.
Yeah,
and it does.
Where basically I'm telling you, he made it awesome. I'm telling you, he's even got the SEC, FINRA, all those complaint forms. He's got links to it. All you got to do is go in there and click on it. So that's what he's done. That's what he did in the initial beginning is he set it all up for people that don't know how to navigate the system. So he said, here it is. I'm laying it out. You guys do what you got to do. Because the more forms they get, the more complaints they get. And I got FINRA. They called me back. Oh, we just want to let you know we got your info. I'm like, all right, well, what are y'all going to do about it? And they said, well, we can't really discuss that with you. We just want to let you know we got your info. I'm like, oh, great.
Yep. It's nice. The site's set up very well. It's got all of West Christian's info. It's a very good site.
I'm smelling a space call with Wes.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, he'll do it. He'll do it for sure, guaranteed. Tell him you talked to me. I'm telling you, he remembers me. I know he does because we talked for 25 minutes. He said, "You email me. Here's my email. You email me directly. You tell me what." I got calls coming in, fucking out.
Yeah, I will. I'll try to get a hold of him this week and see if he can do one-on-one or one-on-two space call just to explain where they're at in the process to everybody, and so everybody knows where we sit and what we need to do, and we'll see what he says. Yeah. Absolutely.
Post that because I don't get as much traffic as you. Post that info, Naked True. Once you find it, copy it, put it on your Twitter, post it out there, let people see it. I'm telling you, I'm not worried. Like what's his name said, I'm not worried about this class action lawsuit holding us up because we need something. We got to have something. This shit could have already been done. You're right. Like 6 months, 8 to a year ago, we could have already had the class action going, and everybody would have been paid. We could have.
Can I say something to that? Isn't it plausible that the C already has enough DRS shares from GameStop to already have enough evidence to do what they're going to do without AMC getting involved. And also one other thing, why isn't there a push for new incoming politicians to vow that they're not going to trade while they're in office? That's a real root of this problem. Politicians won't do shit because they have interest. They can't X other positions in time.
That's an important point, but it's off topic of what we're trying to do here. I think the bill is already in Congress to restrict elected officials from trading. It's going to be voted on. I'll have to get the date when that's going to be voted on. The GameStop direct registration thing, I'm a huge supporter of that, but we could never know the official numbers from ComputerShare until GameStop decided to actually do something with that. But in here, just for specifics, we're specifically talking about class action lawsuit and the potential to have some of these retained lawyers start moving forward, but we need the community support to do it.
And the point of direct registration, it doesn't really matter. Like, is GameStop ahead of AMC? Absolutely, because they've taken the bull by the horns and ran with it. Does that mean that
Breaking up.
AMC can't do it? Just tighten. Might be in a bad service area. The idea of direct registration, that just tightens the noose, because that's just shares that the DTCC doesn't have access to, which means that continuous net settlement cannot happen with those shares. So every share, every single one, makes a difference. It's one of those things. Maybe we only get to 10 million, 100 million, whatever it is that gets direct registered. But that means those are 100 million shares that aren't in the hands of the DTCC and in the hands to be able to be used against us. Period. End of story. Anyone that says anything different is really, in my mind, producing FUD. And if you don't want to do it with yours, that's on you. Totally get it. I'm not gonna shame anybody into that. But the fact remains that every share that you have in a broker, the share that's being used against you.
Yeah, the DRS process, I'm 100% for, extremely important. Until we get the numbers direct registered to prove synthetics, though, then that's going to be, see, the beauty of direct registration is that the companies themselves will then have legal ground to go after people because we prove synthetics. But until then, we need to take this path forward that we discussed at the beginning of the call, which is one, get in touch with West Christian and see where they stand and report to the community what we need to do. Two, get in touch with Altamirano LLP in California in regards to their class action lawsuit against Robinhood, see where they stand on that and what we can do with that. Three, have the entire community respectfully and professionally call Maxine Waters' DC office and Juan Vargas's California office and say, okay, Financial Services Committee put together a very good report, but why is no legal or consequential action being taken against these entities that basically got away with stealing hundreds of billions of dollars? So that's where we're going forward so far with this call. Tomorrow, I'm going to call West Christian and see if he would be willing to get on a space call. I'll also call the California law firm and see if they would be willing to do so too on a one-on-one, so they can explain to the community where we sit, what we need to do and what we can do, and where it'll go forward from there. Because even if it takes 13 months, at least 13 months from now, we're not going to be sitting here starting the process again.
Amen.
Hey, Spence.
100% right.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the big things that Wes Christian was telling me that Adam Air needs to do is he needs to hire that share intel company, which is David whatever. If you look up on YouTube, you'll find type in
I just
David
tweeted it to
and
the
Wes
top.
Christian.
I just
Yeah,
pinned
so
it to the top.
that guy used to work for the billionaires, and he knows about the naked shorting. So he created a business that basically can read through algorithms and all that shit that they do in the computer system, whatever, to find naked shorting. So he's already helped multiple businesses by finding the naked shorting, and then they start doing the legwork. They report to the SEC, they report to the FINRA, they do all the reporting, and it's only like $70,000. It ain't a lot. I mean, this dude, You know, HYMC, God, he put millions on that. He can afford to put $70,000 into Share Intel to hire them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know enough about Share Intel personally, but I will research that. I'm
I'm gonna-
guessing. I'm guessing
Can I
in a
tell-
sense, Share Intel offers some sort of share count through data from metrics that they find. Does that
So
sound?
share
Yeah, it's
intel.
something. I don't know. You got to do your research. You're real smart about that stuff. I can't. I don't. I'm not smart like that. You gotta dig in like that. I'm just a messenger. I call
So
West
share-
Christian because to me, I thought, you know, what? Why are we not calling West Christian? This is back a year ago. I said, why are we not calling this guy? Because this guy took $250,000, and then you know the whole thing. They tried to say Chad was this and Chad was that, whatever. But he said they got the money. They took the money. It just wasn't all of it. And so they were hired, and they do what they got to do. But obviously, they need our help. So.
Share Intel is a software program that has to be installed on the main computer at AMC because apparently they can see all the trades coming through back and forth. They may not understand what's going on, and that's where the software comes in. When I spoke 8 months ago to someone at Share Intel, he basically, and I think I've said this many times before on space calls, he basically told me that if we understood what was happening the way they understand it, it would F the minds, it would F up our minds for generations to come. And I thought that was a very chilling statement from a man in the know who wrote the program, who sees what's going on a daily basis. We need to use these people.
I'll deep dive Share Intel Monday too. Let's see. I've heard people talk about it before, stock surveillance, stuff like that. Seems he's about stopping abusive short selling. I'll contact them. Maybe we can get them on a space call to specifically explain what they can do for us. Because if it's only $70-something thousand, I mean, if it's
we can't raise the money, Spence, because that was my question is, okay, so we'll pay for it. We'll raise the money to get the reconciled share count because that's what they give us. And he said that we can't do it without, we cannot, they can only, Adam Aaron is the only one that is allowed to say yes.
Okay.
So,
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say, is that's what Wes Christian told me. We need the board of directors to step up to do it.
why do you think I've been so on Adam Aaron? Why do you think I have a chip on my shoulder over our wonderful CEO? Because he's not acting. Almost a year ago, the guys at Share Intel told me that they have left numerous messages for Adam Aaron without them being returned.
Well,
Spence,
go ahead.
You pick this torch up. Don't put this torch down because we are ready to give blood, sweat, tears, whatever it takes now. Enough of sitting back and taking everything as it comes. There is only two ways to live your life. Either give up or give up all you got. I mean, look at where we are, man. Let people, and to people, those who are pulling each other's legs down, enough of that, man. If the clout is all that matters to you, then so be it. But a lot of us here are here. They want to get somewhere. They want some answers. We are so tired of these people screwing us right in front of our eyes in the greatest country of the world. And you will let these people do it to you? Really? Don't stop now. You pick this torch up there. You won't imagine how many people will stand up with you shoulder to shoulder, do whatever it takes. Spence, I'm not rich by any means, but whatever money it takes, I work hard. I have kids just like everybody else. But whatever money it takes, I will do it. Whatever it takes. But I need answers. I want us to do something. From buying shares to buying tickets to buying merchandise, buying YouTubers subscriptions. We have done every fucking thing as apes and retail. Can somebody really do something for us? No. We have to do something for ourselves. Then let's do it. It's right in front of us. Let's try. At least let us try, and let please those people, those who are pulling other people down, stop with this. Give people at least a chance to try. If we would have tried this shit fucking 18 months ago when that thing happened in January or what, had a lawyer, one truck driver from New Jersey got 28 or what $1,000. 5 to 8 million people. You don't think we can change shit? Like in this.
Oh, go ahead, Sugar. I'm sorry.
I get very fired, man, because I come from a third world country where, we would have done anything. But here, when I see people like, we want to do this and that, and then, it's becomes all about followers, likes, and who retweets my shit, who got so many space call people in their space call. I didn't come here for that. I love the community. I love AMC, but I came here to make money too, and everybody else did. So let's focus on that. Let's ignore the noise. Let's ignore the politics and everything else. Let's just focus on one thing: how we can make this thing work. And if somebody doesn't want this thing to work, then get the fucking out of our way. Let us do it.
And make no mistake, people will be exposed during this whole, when we move forward, and I'm not using the words if anymore, when we move forward with this, people will be exposed for who they are. Whether it is a shill, a short seller, an abusive short seller, or someone on the board, they are going exposed. If you've done wrong, you're going to be exposed, as you should, because I've had it.
Hey, Spence.
Right.
I just want to pause just for a second and ask the question, why now? Why we're so close to MOAS would they release this? Could they potentially be trying to get us to pursue legal action so they can freeze the stock?
No, there's nothing saying that the stock will be frozen. That's an assumption. I believe that they released this. I believe they released this right now because they released it underneath of the Roe versus Wade Supreme Court decision, so that the attention was taken off of it and the general public wouldn't see it. I believe that's why they released this.
Yeah, the other statement is I wouldn't trust Maxine Waters worth my spit, but I gotta wonder, because if it starts to be investigated, they will freeze it.
They're not freezing anything. They will not freeze anything. They will not halt the stock.
What does it matter if they can halt the stock and turn off the buy button? What does it matter? If we don't take legal action against these bastards now and we don't expose them, then we're going to be sitting here in another 12 months doing exactly what we're doing all over again. They don't need to freeze the stock via a lawsuit. They can do it because they're the market makers.
And I
but look at what they, hold on.
How do you know it's going to be, how do you know that MOAS is right around the corner?
Well, there's a lot of tells that show that, but that's my personal opinion. Look at Enron, right? They froze that for like 18 months and settled it in court and paid all the shareholders like $8 a share.
That was because Enron was wronged from the inside. If AMC is not wronged from the inside, they cannot freeze a share. If the board is screwing everybody the way Enron did, then they can do that. We don't know. Is the board screwing the shareholders? I don't think they are. I think that AMC
I'm not trying to shill. I'm just trying to look at both sides of the coin to see where the gotchas are, right?
Right, and I'm just saying that Enron is a completely different story. Enron was screwed from the inside.
Right now, though,
Enron was a Ponzi scheme. Enron was a Ponzi scheme.
All right.
AMC is not a.
or before. Well, because we're at the freaking bottom. So obviously we're buying it, everybody's buying it, and there's just creating more synthetics. So now would be the time to run the share
Broke up again.
intel because 20 and 60, well, from 60 to 50 or 60 to 30, it might not have been a good time to count synthetics, but now we're at the bottom and we're all buying it up like crazy. Then now would be the time to run the program and count some synthetics and get this shit on,
Well, here's the problem.
because they've already proven that the margin calls don't matter.
It's comments like that. One, and I'm not trying to pick a fight or whatever. I've never seen that account before in my life. He doesn't follow me. I don't think he follows Jen or PJ. He didn't have any AMC on his thing. And he said exactly what we said at the beginning of the call. Don't come in here and make assumption comments on, oh, they might freeze the stock. They might do this. They might. Don't post your buys. It's all fucking FUD. Don't come up here to speak today if you don't know what you're talking about or making assumption comments that is going to derail us from what we're doing. I'm not going to put up with it.
And that's the thing. People don't want to even let other people make an effort. Before every time, it's every fucking time for the last 13 months, every time somebody tries to do something, it's like, oh no, it will get us in trouble and this and that. Do you really think that they will let the stock go to just like up for $100 or $1,000 just like that? You don't think they will pull the plug again?
Well, here's
what
the thing.
What are you going to do then?
Here's the thing too, Sugar. We now have the full House Financial Services GameStop report with evidence in there that there was massive collusion by market makers, brokers, and hedge funds. This is big enough to bring about antitrust laws. They broke almost every single part of the 1934 Securities Exchange Act in stock price manipulation.
Spence, I understand his concern too. I got more money than I should have ever invested. I got $140,000 just in AMC. That's my money, not the profit or anything.
Well,
so if if I would be worried, like something happens, they will freeze the account. Something has to be done. We can't just sit back.
At least we won't lose any more money.
Well, exactly. We already look from where we were, and where we are now. Yeah. Especially after buying a 1 year, we bought, and not to say we bought this stock for 1 year, and we are sitting almost at the 52-week low. That should tell you something how fucked up this market is, and none of these fucking people will help us. They will not, because
I'm worried about breaking up these colluding market makers, brokers, and regulatory agencies so that we don't have to deal with this in the future and our kids don't have to deal with this in the future. If you're only worried about getting your MOAS money, which still has not come to you, and you're not going to take any legal action against the crime that has been committed against us because you're scared of theoretical assumptions that you read on the internet, then you're the problem. You're in the way. You're the problem. Not you, Sugar. I mean,
I'm always the problem. I know I'm a pain in the ass, but that's Sugar. Okay, But see, that's the thing. When I said don't put this torch down, there will be people, some of the people you think they're your friends and all, they will sending you DMs. Hey, we don't this and that will get us this. If you put this torch down now, they're not enough people, those who are willing to stand up for people, those who can't speak up, Spence.
Well, I just DM'd Adam Aaron and I asked him, I said, hey, Mr. Aaron, I was wondering why AMC as a company has not looked into share intel yet as far as using their services to identify manipulation and stock trading through their drill down process. We'll see if he messages me back, but I know tomorrow morning I'm calling West Christian. I'm calling the other law firm in California. I'm going to call Share Intel. I'm going to try to see if they will all be lined up to come on a one-on-one space call to explain what they're doing, what they can do, and what we can do as shareholders to get this thing moving forward. Because it's got to freaking end, man. This report came out and nothing is happening.
Exactly.
I've emailed Adam Aaron multiple times directly to the board via email and via direct message, and I've not received any response back via share intel. So I don't think that you're going to get a response back, unfortunately, for that. But there may be other ways, that after we speak to the attorneys, maybe there's some ways around it, because I think we really need to start there. And any attorney that we hire, aside from the DTCC, I mean, any attorney that we hire is gonna want to investigate the tape. They're going to want to investigate the tape. So there's really going to be no way around that.
Well, here's the deal. We're going to go into Q2. AMC ends up announces positive earnings, and the stock price doesn't move. And everybody's going to be all up in arms again. Going, oh, we need to do something. We need to do something. Fuck that. We're doing it Monday. We're doing it tomorrow. We're getting information on where to move forward with the steps that have already been taken by some pretty great apes in the past. And we're going to capitalize on it. I'm just done sitting around, man. What's up, Juan?
Yo. Fuck, it has something to do with suspensions. I can't fucking remember. Oh, they go ahead and they do suspend it. I'm just think, I know normally that the thing that I'm afraid of is that whatever action, if this gets suspended, whatever action the SEC is going to take, they better make sure that this goes to like a federal court. Because you got to remember, the SEC holds their own hearings and they don't abide by the regular rules that would apply in a federal court.
This will likely end up with the Inspector General.
Hope so.
Yeah, that's so far down the road, I think. I think we should just...
I don't think so, Play. I think this is a lot closer than people realize. Because now when this shit comes out, and they hopefully, I'd love to hear Gasparino's comments on it, and then I'd love to hear Payne's comments on it, and see the both of them talking about it. I want to hear Gasparino say this is just all malarkey. And the other thing too is when you see this week, if Friday comes and Ken has not called his lawyers to tell Maxine to stop, cease and desist on all the information that you played out, because remember how fast she went after Citadel Air, or that he went after Citadel Air and Cat Stryker for flying the banner over his building. So keep on the lookout for Kenny Boy to see what he's going to do here. I'm curious about that too.
So I just want to say one thing. Hold on, one thing, Spence. I think that should one day soon, when whatever attorney takes on the class action announces that after he files it, I truly believe that shorts will run to cover, because no one is going to want to get caught out there. Yep. I think that's the only thing that I think that really is going to happen.
Agree. The biggest thing is Monday, I'm going to figure out what we can do. Right now, nobody knows what we can actually do because we're not lawyers. We're not lawyers who have went after stock fraud in the past. These guys will know. They'll be able to tell us, and then I can come back and say, step 1 is completed. Step 2 is now letting everybody know what we can do. And step 3 is executing that. We're going to deal with consequences no matter what. It's either going to be we do this and we start the investigation into the collusion that happened, and maybe potentially nobody can even tell me, okay, they're going to halt the stock. Show me the regulation in the law that shows me they're going to halt the stock because of this. And if there is, what's any different than us sitting at $10 a share as we're getting ready to go positive into Q2? What's the difference? If we prove that we've been wronged, we can get our money and we can protect our company. But if we keep sitting here dumping money into this thing and it's being stolen, well, fool me thrice. Shame on me. It's got to end. So we're moving forward. We're contacting lawyers. I'm going to figure out what we can do, what they can do. I'm going to figure out what Share Intel can do. And I'm going to figure out why AMC has been reluctant to hire them.
Hey, you guys, I just want to say one thing really quick. If anybody has any questions or anything that you want to know about a potential lawsuit, I have been on this for a year. Please reach out to me directly. My DMs are always open, and I will tell you the truth. about what can happen and what can happen.
Hey, so I went and I read that entire report as soon as Adam here tweeted it out. It was super detailed, a lot of great shit in there. So one thing I'm confused about in terms of our takeaway from this report is like the DTCC, they canceled margin calls on all of the brokerages where retail operates, not where hedge funds are. Like unless you think hedge funds are shorting in their Robinhood accounts. So I'm confused why, Spencer, you're saying that the canceling of margin calls on retail brokerages affected the squeeze and prevented it. Because had Robinhood had their trading shut off, like in all stocks, you would right now be an unsecured creditor of Robinhood rather than holding AMC shares. So it's confusing to me why you think that has any impact whatsoever in stopping the short squeeze when it was in fact all retail buying that was saved by the DTCC canceling the margin calls.
That makes like no logical sense whatsoever. If they would have gotten margin
Did you
call,
read the report? Did you read the report? When someone buys a stock on Robinhood,
here we go.
There'll be a lot of people
Here we
with
go.
2 followers, and like I said, every time we try to do something, people like Amy, short sellers, a lot of naysayers will be there, Spence. But we will not put this torch down now.
So you're
We had
telling
enough
me
of this shit.
you're telling me that guy's gone. I'm just not dealing with it anymore. You're telling me I've read this report all weekend that one, we're not talking about the short squeeze and the effects it would have had. We're talking about the collusion that happened between super brokers, market makers, the DTCC, FINRA, and the U.S. Congress to shut down trading on stocks that retail wanted to buy because all these market maker brokers couldn't meet their margin requirements because they were over leveraged. Not to mention that all these market makers, hedge fund market makers, were short the stock. Citadel, Wolverine, Susquehanna, Virtue were all short the stock. They would have got margin called and it would have squozed and retail would have got their money. Yes, it would have caused a market disaster because they would have had to liquidate all their blue chip stocks, but that's the game. That's what they signed up for when they over leveraged. That's the type of bullshit with people coming in here and they start spreading FUD. And if you do come up here and try to say something that you think you're going to out-educate me on, I'm going to bounce you immediately. We're not talking about what ifs and how comes. We're talking about what are we going to do going forward. I read the GameStop report from front to back fucking twice. And whoever that guy was on that random account is absolutely 100% full of shit. He sounds like a Wall Street guy. He sounds like an old scratchy Wall Street guy who probably works for Citadel. It's just like how Amy wanted to come up here and people who I've never seen before, like the one guy, well, what if this and you don't know and this? No, we're done with it. We're moving on. So far we've got our key talking points. I'm going to go over it one more time for people joining the call. One, Wes Christian has been put on retainer in the past for this exact thing. I'm going to call him Monday. I'm going to call Alta Miriano, LLP in California, who has a class action against Robinhood currently. I'm going to contact Maxine Waters' office in DC to figure out what they are doing further than just this GameStop report. And I'm also going to contact Share Intel, try to contact the board of directors at AMC and see why the Share Intel program has not been looked over yet, if not integrated, to figure out what's going on with the company's stock. It's so annoying. You try to get anything done and you get absolute.
Well, remember, the closer we get to doing the right thing and to reaching a point of justice in this corruption, people will come out of the woodwork, as they always do. They always do.
My YouTube is being spammed like freaking crazy with porn bot shit. Sure and who was it? State. J Real Estate have been in there moderating it, trying to keep it on. So. All right, is there a couple hands up? Look, I'm not trying to attack anybody coming up that wants to speak on topic, but again, This call is about factual information going forward on what we can do to fight against the corruption we faced on January 27th. It's not a what if, well, what if this happens? Well, in the past, well, how come? It's about what we're doing moving forward. Like PJ said, if you're not getting on the train, you better get out of the way. What's up, Scotty?
You keep using the word "we," but I mean, I'm a bit miffed. I don't understand if we're going to use the word "we." Why not just go to the goddamn movies? I don't know. I don't know if everybody understands what a class action lawsuit does, but I mean, whoever sticks their name to a class action lawsuit is going to be the primarily the person that sees something out of it, and it's going to screw the
That's
screw
not
everybody.
true.
That's not
Yeah.
true at all.
Yes, it is.
Not true.
Yes, it is.
Not
And
true.
not only that.
That is so ridiculously untrue. It's not even fun.
I mean, after non-monetary, this guy comes up here and says this. I mean, how ridiculous.
It's the fun. It's people who do not understand what they're talking about in legal definition and business practices coming up to spread fun. This is what's been stopping us.
It ain't gonna be easy, Spence, because there are a lot of people.
Hold on.
Hold
on.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Shug.
Look, Jen, if somebody's unmuted and they're not speaking, boot them from the speaker. So everybody should know how to operate a space call by now. If you're coming up and you're not speaking, keep your mic muted. If you want to say something, raise your hand so we can keep it coordinated and on point. Go ahead, Sugar.
See, it's not going to be easy, Spence. We all know that. What we tried to do it last year, it's going to be difficult. But the thing is, are we going to give up just because all these people, like, who are we? We are us. Us, lot of people, those who are silently didn't have nothing. They wanted to say a lot of things, but they've been quiet because, you know, they've seen it enough. And now they want somebody to finally step up and do something about it. And if you don't want to do it, let people who want to do about it. Maybe give it a chance, give it a shot. If it didn't work, fuck, it didn't work. But at least we can say at least we tried.
Well,
at least let people, you know, try it.
That's the point, Sugar, is the people that are coming up and saying, well, what if, and don't do it, and just go to the movies, and that's all you need to do. They're the same ones that have been saying it for the past 12 months. And like I said, half of these guys don't even have real profile pictures. You don't know who they are, but they can come in with such power and say, no, if we do that, it's illegal, and it immediately scares people off. When you're sitting up here with me, Jen, PJ, Swing, you, and a couple other folks that have been around for a long time, all my credentials are out there, man. I'm not just some dude that decided to buy stock. I'm a freaking degree path certified in what we're doing here. This is what's crazy. There's people with the education and background talking up here right now that know what they're doing with the DD right in front of us. And people are still coming up trying to go, whoa, bro, class action lawsuit has only got one person's name on it, which is a complete freaking lie. It's absolutely ignorant.
We bought every share. We buy all the tickets we can. It's the retail, us. We saved the fucking company. Nobody else did. When this company was at $2 from now through 72 to now, who saved this company? And we don't sell drugs. We work. We have an honest living. We have families too. We are doing the best we can. And to come here to say like, oh, we, us, I mean all of us. If you don't want to be a part of change, then don't be a part of change. But just don't come here to say something just because you want to say something. We want somebody to do something, not just take everything as it comes and lying down. Enough of this shit.
And if you don't want to be part of a class action lawsuit, there are millions of class action lawsuits yearly where you don't even know if you're part of or not because you don't even read that little letter you get in the mail. Yep. So everybody just needs to sit down and be quiet. If they don't want to be part of it, ignore it.
Yep. We're here to figure out what we can do in a class action format against these market makers, brokers that robbed us on January 27th and have caused more or less a 40% drop in most of America's 401ks. We've got data from Congress. in the form of the Financial Services Committee GameStop report. We've got multiple lawyers that are already on retainer. We already have one lawsuit arbitration that has been won, and there's already a class action lawsuit open by a firm in California. So literally, if you don't know what you're talking about, or you're coming up to just spread FUD, which is not going to get past me, please just stay down. I'm being a little more aggressive tonight in the call. If you have a question, that's fine. Come up and ask a question. But don't come up and ask close-ended questions when I know you're probably working for a hedge fund to discourage us from doing it. All right, blah, blah, blah. Scene Cat Lady, what's going on?
Oh, God, I'm scared to speak.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just kidding. All right, y'all know me. I ain't no fudster. All I know is I agree something needs to be done. We probably won't even get anything filed in the next week or two. However, I do remember, I don't know if it's cryptic or not, but Adam Aaron flat out said, I know what's going on, but I'm not going to pounce before the end of Q2. I have a feeling something's going to come from that call. I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe this run of movies that he has got us cash positive, which a lot of people think is the deal. I don't know if he's going to drop a partnership with GameStop. We don't know. We just don't know. I just don't want him to feel like we don't trust him for when's the end of Q2? 2 weeks?
Yeah, but feelings and not knowing and what ifs have led us to where we are today, which is $11 a share. I almost guarantee you after Q2, we go cash flow positive. We may see a slight price increase, but we've been led down this path for the last 14 months now, and nothing has been done. That's why we're organizing.
Okay, all right.
But Spence, this is not just about a stock or moving money and all that. It's about they will fuck us up in the future. They will try the same shit they did before. If we don't do nothing, that's the whole point. If going forward, people think these guys will not go to any extent to take that buy button off these brokers and all these people. The people I don't know what people are thinking. They will go to any extent to do whatever the hell they want.
If you don't want to be part of it, don't be part of it. We're moving forward with it. I know me and PJ specifically are. You don't want to be in, that's your choice. You can wait for what ifs and maybes. But we've all been here for over 13 months, listening to every word that, Adam Aaron and company is doing much better. They've done a phenomenal job at making the company hopefully profitable in Q2. But what happens in Q2 if they announce a positive EPS and the stock price doesn't move and we're all sitting here? It's if you are basing your decisions on what ifs and fears because you don't understand what will happen during a class action lawsuit against these brokers and market makers, then this isn't the movement for you. You want to learn, come in and listen and get updated as we go forward with it. But I'm done being told by people in the community, and this isn't against St. Cat Lady, I'm done being told by people in the community, well, if you do this, then it's going to cause everything to downfall and it's going to freeze the stock. And most of the people have no source or backing on what they're saying whatsoever. Do I think Q2 is going to be amazing? More than anybody. I've been talking about that for months. I think it's going to absolutely explode. But if our stock's being manipulated, then what's the point? AMC is just going to be continuously drained of its revenues through stock manipulation, which is going to lead it back to $1.90 in the situation it was in during the pandemic. Citadel and Apollo Global, these market makers and these hedge funds come in and destroy companies through liquidity drains by manipulating stock price, which makes it impossible for them to raise cash, which is why Adam Aaron bought into Highcroft Mine, because they were doing it to Highcroft. If we as shareholders don't exercise our rights to protect our shares, our company, then why should Adam Aaron? It's our responsibility to do it. And we all need to quit sitting on the sideline saying, oh, well, it's going to be taken care of and I have faith and this and that. How about we just do it and be done with it? Like I said, I'm not trying to... This call is serious. This is not a bullshit call. This is not what if call. And people are going to be mad at me tomorrow and not want to talk to me. I don't care. If we're not going to fix this now, it's never going to be fixed. Ken Griffin's going to fly off to the Cayman Islands with all our money, never to be seen again. All right, Hands, what's up? I don't even know.
Green.
I can go. I just wanted to go back to the unity. You know what? And I totally understand you. With you guys right now as far as what you're saying. I think this is the time to start doing something. We have been waiting for a long time, and enough is enough. You're right. Whoever wants to join, let them come aboard, and whoever doesn't, that's fine. But we still, like Ray was saying, it's going to be hard, not only from the outside people, but also from the inside people. And I'm not saying anything against anybody, but even within, we're going to have some people that are going to kind of try to come and say, why, and why. But you know what, like you're saying, we just got to keep going forward, and we have to do it. Hopefully everyone understands that we have to do this now. There's no point in waiting. We've been waiting. You know, for those that do not understand what's going on, then we're going to have to learn quick. And for those that already know, then, you know, we're here. And that's basically, that's all I want to say. But I think, again, I just want to stress that fact that we do want to kind of like still try to be united and stay together and try to do this as you know, as united as we can. And if whoever doesn't, oh well.
We
But I
are
think
way
unity,
more united than you think we are when it comes to a lawsuit. Because I mean, I mean, me, little old me with a few followers, I know tons of people who are done and who want to take legal action. I'm sure we are way more united than we think we are about this. And the people that don't and are so vehemently spewing false information, they don't want MOAS. They don't want a lawsuit. They just want to hang out on Twitter and, you know, be some big guy in town or something, you know?
Clear, this is not a lawsuit against Adam Aaron and AMC. This is a class action against the, like, Robinhood to just start with. Just going after Robinhood as a broker manipulated the entire U.S. stock market. And also this, if we get a class action in there and we can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Citadel, market makers, and brokers like Robinhood manipulated the stock market through payment for order flow, that's another step in getting payment for order flow banned by Congress. This is what needs to happen. It's just, like I said, if you're in this and you're part of the community and you don't like what we're doing, then you cannot like what we're doing and we'll move forward, and that's fine. Everybody's got a right to do what they want to do. But
exactly.
Don't come up and try to discourage me from moving forward on this when I've heard it for the past 12 months and it's caused nothing but us sitting where we are today at $11 a share and manipulation rampant.
And let's be clear again that this is not a lawsuit against Adam Aaron, okay? It's a lawsuit against Citadel, okay? And Robinhood.
If I'm being a little rough on people tonight, I'm sorry, but I'm here to fix a problem, and you're always welcome to make your statement, but I'm not going to listen to, well, if you don't understand the legal process and the regulatory structure that we're talking about, this isn't a call to come up and say, oh, what if? It's just not. Go to Cornelius Swing and then Mark.
Hey, so question about, you're talking about getting in touch with the attorney Wes Christian about filing this class action lawsuit. So this is a guy who he's been crowdfunded about $250, $250,000 by apes already, sort of towards this cause. I want to wonder, what is he sitting on? Why is he waiting? Is that not enough of a deposit? How much more money does he want to continue working on this? And I know you wish to talk to him, so obviously I'd like to know if you will ask him about that and what your answer is, but I kind of wonder about that.
He's not sitting on $250,000. Most of that money was returned via the GoFundMe. It is nowhere near that. Maybe it's $20,000 or $25,000. It's nowhere near that. And that is because he's holding that money in escrow because the owners did not come back. The people who donated did not come back for a total of $25,000.
Well,
Okay. Well, I would like to, I'd like to know what what he's looking to get compensation wise to represent apes.
Try my best to find out this week. I'm going to call Monday. But again,
I
that
can give you
movement,
an idea about that. $250,000 to start Discovery. Then the last I understood this, $250,000 to start to I think maybe I'm wrong, but it was upwards of 250 grand. And then if there's a trial, it would be in the millions, at which point he would help us fund by other people who have fought the same, by other people meaning other leaders in industry who have fought the same fight that we're fighting against Naked Shorts.
and it's going to take millions.
So I'd like to ask too if there's not a advocacy group that could take us on because of the cause and not the money.
So nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to do that because this is so all encompassing and so time consuming and so tedious that they're not going to do anything else while they focus on this. This is my impression that I have from this. Listen, I was driving a car and I flipped my Honda because, the wheel was wrong, and so did 5,000 other people. Okay, we'll take you on contingency. This is not that.
Yeah,
So
but
we
it's
need to be clear on
this
that.
is the whole, stock market, corruption. This could be a huge game changer.
Yeah, but they're not going to win any money.
Here's the thing. You're going up against multi-billionaire institutions like Citadel, and not just Citadel, but multiple institutions like Wolverine, Virtue, Susquehanna, who own hundreds of billions of dollars. Nobody's going to do this for free. I almost guarantee. I wish somebody would. That would be phenomenal. You would think, I don't know, the U.S. government would help us, but obviously they don't. They don't give.
Lawyers don't work free, man. They make a lot of money. That's the only reason. And not everybody takes up the cases they can't win. So there are some good lawyers, those who will only step in because they know they can win this and they can make a lot of money. They don't work for free.
And I will say this, these kind of lawsuits, again, are almost impossible to win. Last year, Abe said, well, West Christian never won any of those lawsuits. Yeah, no shit, Shylock, because it's impossible to win. They are solely filed to bring light to the fact that this is happening, to say, we know what you're doing. And then to move forward for the individual investors to use whatever happens in that lawsuit for their own lawsuits.
Well, but millions of apes monies and dollar that could be spent into more shares of AMC or GME, spent towards a lawyer to an impossible case is a bit of a waste,
to
right?
be manipulated.
It's not a waste. I mean, if you don't want to fix the market, you want to buy and hold, then you can do that too. But other people who want to donate want to fix the market for future generations. This is my third rodeo, and I don't want to see it again for anyone.
I understand. I'm just saying, I'm interested in hearing what West Christian has to say about compensation. I want to know. And I think all apes want to know. And again, it's a weight of cost. Like, how do we crowdfund him again? And then we're
gonna find that out, and then I'm gonna report it back.
And I appreciate you, talking to him, of course. And I'm interested, and I'll wait to hear.
The thing is other cases that West Christian has had didn't have a financial services committee report behind it with evidence of not only lying under oath in a congressional hearing, but full evidence of collusion via messages between the companies. So there's a big difference in the past cases and former cases. Swing, I think, was next, and then Mark.
Thank you, Spence. I'm going to step down.
Thanks for coming up, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, for those that haven't read the report, just quick cliff note version of this, the NSCC waived the fee before market open, and Robinhood halted the stock anyway. This is a matter of fact. Also a matter of fact, other firms that didn't get the same call also halted the stock. Also, Apex Clearing put pressure on their multiple brokers that use them for clearing, put pressure to not take buy orders or put limits on options trading on a basket of stocks. These are facts that are in this case. It is a fact that Robinhood cleared their necessity for money before market open, and they had holds on the stocks for days and days afterwards. It's a matter of fact that it was manipulation. They knew that it was manipulation, but we have emails, internal emails, that say that they knew that this would put downward pressure on the stock and that this was going to be a bad look for them because they were supposed to be for retail. This is a matter of fact in a congressional hearing.
And that's
it's all in there.
That's an exact violation of the 1934 Securities Exchange Act, Section 9, multiple paragraphs, but not only in that, it was a time, we're still in the pandemic time frame where we were under national emergency. So they created a financial infrastructure, national security risk by doing what they were doing. It's absolutely insane.
Hey Spence, I'm gonna drop off, brother. I gotta put my kids to bed, but I just want to say this is one of the best calls. You picked up this torch, and let's move only forward. There is only going forward. Now is not the time to back off. No matter what happens, there are a lot of people with you, and we will only get more people. When people will come to know what we can, and what we could have done, we will only go forward from here. But this is a great call, man. I wish you have more calls like this.
Well, here's the thing. Thanks for coming up, Sugar. Have a good night. I'm being rough tonight, and I'm sorry if you're taking it personally. Please don't. I'm moving forward with what we're doing regardless. You can go your way, I'm going my way. But the thing is, I'm not going to sit here and be discouraged by what ifs and how comes and, well, this happened. And we're going factual information. We're going to figure out what we can do, what's already been done, figure out how to move forward no matter what. So if you have a question, come up and ask it and talk about it. But if you're coming up to try to discourage us from doing what we're doing, don't waste your time. Was Keith next?
Keith.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm glad your profile picture's back to normal, man.
Are you trying to say my face ain't normal?
I just didn't know who you were, man. It's like a memory function, picture function.
Yeah, that's just my favorite.
No, I agree with the lawsuit. A lot of people thought, it's going to halt the market. No, it ain't going to halt shit. That was what we was told at the very beginning, which probably could have been true. But over time, we found out, no, now we know that there's collusion. We're not doing anything to the company. We're suing the individuals that are screwing the whole stock market over.
Yep.
So it ain't like they're going to halt AMC, and we need to get everybody on board. Because I would hate to see the community divided over some stupidity that they don't understand.
Yeah, and the funny thing is when this gets going and it hits the news, then everybody's going to want to be a part of it. That's what's going to.
Of course they will. Just like they tried to tell me, they almost kicked me out of the whole shit for mentioning the word lobbyist. Well, now everybody's on board with a fucking lobbyist, which we should have had all along.
We absolutely
would have had a voice.
We 100% need lobbying in Congress for.
Yeah. We've had the same knuckleheads in here from day one, stopping this whole community from doing what should have been done.
Well, it's so much easier to spread fear than fact, right? As soon as you think, well, I'm fearful of losing my money because of this, guess what? It already went from 72 to 10 and nothing happened. So I don't know why you're scared about losing your money now. That's who Mark, were you next or was St. Cat Lady?
Not too sure. Oh yeah. What's up, guys? What's going on, Spence? No, I appreciate you guys' time. I'm over here taking notes for the last hour, and that's what it's about, right? Just,
Nice.
you know, sharing as much as we can, right? This is how we, you know, bring more awareness to what's going on. I've been in, you know, with AMC over the past year and a half, right? For me, it started with GME, and then I took a lot of that equity and put it right into AMC because I seen that the same thing was going on. Now, you know, I talked to my financial guy. I've been doing my due diligence with this report. There's collusion, and just like Kat had said, you know, we have proof of it, you know, and like Charles Trash Barino, you know, always trying to degrade our security. I mean, like I once said before, bees don't waste their time explaining to flies why honey is better than shit. I mean, we are going for the heart of this corrupted system. I could have easily, I mean, I don't have to worry about work anymore, God willing, because of what's going on and by me getting in these securities early enough, but I'm still here holding. I could have took off and left and said, hey, I got my money, but what does that do? I'm one of those individuals where if I see something wrong, I will fight to the core, and I no longer make it about money. To me, I'm not emotionally attached to money to where I'm going to drive every part of awareness and transparency and bring anybody and everybody, you know, using, you know, my connections, my influences, whatever it is, just to, you know, so that my children have a fair and transparent market. So everybody, like, I'm tired of the way that these systems are set up. They're set up to take from these hardworking individuals. We're all spending our hard-earned money in this market. We want to see that there's transparency, equal opportunity. And I mean, look, over the course of this last, year and a half, the ability to move from failure to failure to failure without the loss of enthusiasm, that's what success is, right? So, I mean, we're not hurting the company by moving forward, by saying, hey, we want to do more, right? We're basically saying, hey, look, we want to bring more awareness, and we're not going to let just Adam Aaron fight the battle himself. We're going to fight the battle too. I mean, if you look at the Supreme Court, look what just happened with two guys. Now with you know, your ability to carry, you know, it's your constitutional right to bear arms, and these two people went to the Supreme Court, and look what happened. So it just goes to show, when you have enough people that don't panic, they organize, they come together. And this is just a gentle reminder. I mean, you know, that you ruin your own peace of mind when you try to understand people, you know, when you try to be understood by people who are already committed to the misunderstanding you, right? There's a lot of people that don't understand what we're doing, what we're fighting for. And I do. I have never lost, you know, faith in this play. I love AMC. I love holding it, but it doesn't mean we can't fight even harder. You know, like I said, like Charles Trash Barino and Citadel Securities and Ken Cordell Griffin. You know, he could sit here and say whatever he wants, but you know what? They can send out a cease and desist order to Cat, because you know what, we have proof now, and there is mass collusion, and like you said earlier, Spence, I believe what you had said by saying, because that's what the media does. They use propaganda to distract the public. I mean, and you know, after the whole Roe v. Wade, they're like, hey, let's release this, hoping that it wouldn't pick up traction. But they misunderstood, and they severely underestimated, you know, the power of retail. Every single day, what I see is retail becoming more and more powerful, right? I'm not a person that likes to get, you know, angry and upset and violent, but you know what? When you start pissing off the wrong people, and you start taking money from hardworking people, it motivates me even more to start talking to more people, and to, like, I'm going to meet with the lawyer this week, and I want him, I don't care if I have to pay this guy, you know, however much he wants to charge me an hour to look over the support, then it is what it is. Because you know what? We need as many people fighting, because this corrupted system will keep taking and keep taking and keep taking. I mean, the system is built to keep you in, not let you out, right? So that's what they don't want you to have financial freedom. That's why these are the two heavily most shorted stocks in the market, and it's illicit dark pool abuse that goes on. And, you know, I don't see the SEC doing anything. I see them doing nothing. I mean, they are complicit. So, you know, don't let anybody, like I said, and I'll say it again, remember this: bees don't waste their time explaining to flies why honey is better than shit. Just remember, when someone's trying to talk you out of what you invested in. Why are they concerned? Why are they concerned? Because they're short, because they need us to sell. Look what we did in Melvin Capital, and look what we've done to these Wall Street parasites. It's not over. And you know what? We will win. We will see this thing through, and all of our uniqueness, what we all bring to the table, we will put this puzzle together. We will complete it. We will finish. And the next chapter of each and every one of our lives will cause and make people wish that they treated us better, that they listened to us. And you know what? They were wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. What's up, Saint Cat Lady?
All right, so a couple more just thoughts. Is Wes Christian the absolute? Have you considered? Let me just put it this way: if that's who you're going to go with, I'm just going to say my personal feeling on this. I think he should do it pro bono. And the reason I say that, the amount of publicity worldwide, because if this is that big of a play that's going to possibly tank the world economy, he's going to get world recognition. He's going to have book deals. He's going to have movie deals. He's going to get royalties crawling out of his asshole. Personally, for me, I think it should be asked if he could consider doing it pro bono, because I don't know where we're going to get the money to pay him. Are we doing like a collection plate? I mean, so there's that thought. The second thought I have is, if at any time this goes to court, the judges, my fear is that they could be bought. They will let this shit sit in the goddamn courts for 10 to 15 years. In 2008, just got settled. There was a class action lawsuit last week. They just got their settlement for 2008. So pro bono on the one would be, I would hope we'd look into that possibly, or find an attorney that would do that wants the publicity, worldwide publicity. And the court system thing just makes me a little nervous lengthwise. That's all I had to say. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll ask about pro bono. I doubt that's going to happen, but I'll still ask. And two, can't theorize who's bought out, who's not bought out, and just not do anything. And even if it takes 5 years, we're still fighting to help create a better market structure for future investors, including our kids and grandkids.
And I agree.
Yep.
So Wes Christian stands to get killed, not royalties, in the exposing of the people that this lawsuit would expose.
Oh, yeah,
and this is why I have so much respect for this guy, because he is a bulldog and he doesn't care, and he will go after who he has to go after, because he's beside himself by the manipulation that has been happening on Wall Street his entire career.
I wonder if Maxine Waters needs a bodyguard now too.
Well, you never know. I mean, it is really a sick world.
Well, suddenly, Ken Griffin announces they're moving Citadel to Miami, some closer to the Caymans. It's not a coincidence that happened, and now this report's been released underneath of the Supreme Court decisions. It was so that the general public wouldn't see it, man. So something big is definitely happening. Sorry, PJ.
No, that's okay. I agree with that, being closer to the Cayman. And I also agree with, we in Florida respect our police. We honor the fact, we help us not to be victims of crime. And I'm sure that Ken Griffin will have a wonderful detail here that he won't have to pay for, that the good people of Florida will pay for. That being said, though, I think that the whole idea of pro bono, and you could ask Spence, but I think the whole idea of any attorney, I just texted my best friend who's an attorney in Brooklyn, and I was like, hey, how often do you do pro bono stuff? He's like, I got a family to feed. I'm not doing pro bono. So, this is a real thing, especially when you're talking about this kind of size and scope of a lawsuit.
A case of this caliber is going to cost a lot of money after we go to trial. It's going to cost an insane amount of money. But if we don't start it now, Wes Christian might not even be the right person for this. We don't know yet. I'm going to contact him, figure out where he's at, where he sits, what we can do and offer. And if it's not what we want, we'll move on. We'll go to somebody else. There's 2 different law firms that are already filing class actions against Robinhood, one in New Jersey, one in California. And we'll find the best path forward. It'll probably take me a couple weeks to sort through all this, but maybe I can get Wes on a space call to tell us what he can do for us. I would love to try to get in touch with the Share Intel CEO to see what they can do for AMC and maybe hopefully get in touch with the AMC board of directors.
You can reach Share Intel through Wes because they've worked together multiple times.
Well, the data points are specific to a case like this, so. Michael, were you next?
Yeah, I think so. Can y'all hear me? Hey, I got a question, and everybody been talking. I just been running back over the actual document. Do anybody remember what happened on March 2020? Because I can, per the document, it seemed like Vlad lied to Congress, because he said it was like a black swan event, and it was unmodelable. I think that's the wording they used.
Yep.
But then something happened in March 2020, where you can see in this email flow on page like 36, where someone was like, it's like we're reliving March 2020. And then someone else replied 10,000%. But they said, but with bigger volumes. So if this March 2020 happened before January, does anybody know what happened? Because I would like to know.
2020, 2020.
It got on here, like if you look at page 36 on the document.
And you're talking about the messages back and forth?
Yeah, the emails. Them emails are very interesting when you're looking at some of the dialogue. And did you see on the figure 19, Robinhood, where date, January 27th, time, 2016, 3 seconds, and the comment said it's like we are reliving March 2020. Oh. And then someone said 10,000%. Then they said, but with bigger volumes. So what happened in March of 2020?
Let's go back and check the chart.
And I'm gonna jump down, you guys. We can bring someone back up. You guys all take care. Have a great day tomorrow. Can't wait till tomorrow. Get open tomorrow, you guys.
Mark, thanks for coming, man.
All right, later. Later, Penny. Later, Jen. Later, everybody. Later, Keith.
See you later.
I'm gonna look up and see what's going on. I'm gonna check Robinhood and AMC and GameStop on March 20th. I'll come back. Was Penny next?
Yeah, she was. Hi, Penny.
Oh my God, I had something very obviously super important to say, but I've been on hold for so long I can't remember what it was. So next in line can go. All good.
We can come back to you. Just throw up like a bunch of peace signs if you remember what you had to say.
Oh, okay, thanks, Spence.
Yep. Keith, did you have your hand up? I'm looking up. Robinhood, when did Robinhood?
I think in 2017. Somewhere around there. But excuse me. On page 19, something happened with them in the report. Following the outage, it looked like they may have had an outage or something, or restricted some type of trading back in March of 2020.
They weren't, okay, so Robinhood wasn't public, traded themselves until 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to go back and check market events on certain stocks to figure out what they were talking about in 2020. I don't remember any stocks going crazy. I mean, there was a
because what I'm trying to do is tie it into Vlad's testimony, because for him to pose it like it was a black swan event, and if something similar happened, a year or 10 months prior, you'd think they'd have made provision for such an event.
March 2020 was the start of the pandemic, really. The market crash of the pandemic was in March, February through March. So if Robinhood or some of their, maybe they were just in deep trouble because they held so many assets that were long or something. But if it was March 2020, then Robinhood probably had issues when the market collapsed. So I'm wondering if they failed to meet margin requirements. Oh,
They got fined. I know they got fined. It says here they got fined. It just
oh, go ahead and finish.
It's just in my mind, it wouldn't make sense for him to testify like it was an unmodelable event where, again, some months prior, maybe not as far as a run up or squeeze, they did have some problems happen that they should have made provision for. And then, because I think I've seen somewhere in the report that they were doing 40 times the volume of, say, other brokers were doing at one point. So why didn't they prepare, just in case?
They've been fined $60 million by the SEC, $75 million by FINRA. They've been fined like so many times it's not even funny. So I'm sure during the pandemic crash they failed to meet requirements again at that point.
And the last thing now, before someone else, have anyone? Because I just checked his Twitter, he hasn't made a comment. But you see how they tried to name Elon Musk, kind of saying, "Hey, stock rose this much based off his tweet," or the volume came in this much based off his tweet. And I'm kind of wondering, what does Mr. Musk think about that having his name mentioned in this report?
Yeah, they probably used it as a basis for trying to say that the SEC and the Congress are also trying to go after Musk because of obvious reasons. But they probably tried to throw that in there as a basis to say that he tried to manipulate stock. So, I honestly, without Elon Musk coming in here and saying his opinion, who knows?
Well, wouldn't that deflect blame? Because for me, the whole basis of this report and all of this is, what is the root cause of it? The root cause wasn't just all of a sudden a group of people woke up one day and say, "Hey, we're going to buy GameStop." There was something there that caused, this type of reaction. And I'm on page 43, so I know you said at the beginning to get all the way through. So I've only read down to 43. It may be down below. You can tell me if it is. It's not a spoiler for me. But does this report addresses any short selling whatsoever?
There is key issues in it, but they cover short selling, but they don't necessarily come out and say, hey, these market makers that own hedge funds were shorted extremely heavily and massively over leveraged. They do talk about it a little bit, but they don't just come out and say, hey, the entire reason that this event exposed Wall Street, the market makers and the brokers, is because they were so over leveraged that they went past their risk levels, which is exactly what they did in 2008. So it's a risk assessment standpoint that they absolutely failed. It's a failure of the regulatory commissions on not having proper structure and rules in reporting. And it's also a failure on Congress because, hell, half of them were insider trading on that.
So my question to you is that the smoking gun, so to speak? If to where it's kind of like, I'm glad the report is out, but I still kind of feel like it's lacking to say we can kind of deflect here and there, but we're going to leave that one little key issue alone to where that started this whole thing.
I think the smoking gun is going after Ken Griffin for lying under oath in Congress. Then, therefore, they can start an investigation into practices and subpoena records. But that's more on of a DOJ level. More than likely, something is already going on. Like you said, they've got Bill Wang locked up right now. That dude is rolling on everybody. I guarantee it. But the thing is we can't sit here idly by and not put the biggest thing about this is we're putting pressure on regulators, on elected officials, and even on AMC to figure this out and protect the company and the shareholders. I'm sure Adam Aaron has lawyers working on, I guarantee you there's lawyers from AMC working on this right now. But if we just sit by as shareholders and expect Adam Aaron to do everything for us, then he's going to look at us like, when people DM me and they say, hey, can you just summarize the GameStop report for me? I literally delete that DM. It's so lazy. I guarantee you Adam Aaron looks at us sometimes and goes, fuckers are so lazy that they won't do anything themselves but expect me to do everything. So I say we get together, we figure out what these lawyers can do for us, we figure out how to move forward. We do it without being distracted by people in the community who are spreading FUD through fear tactics. And if it's a healthy path forward, we take it and we show the world that we're not going to let these market makers ruin the financial industries for our future generations.
Hey, I understand that. I appreciate you for bringing me up.
Thanks for coming up, man. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, anytime.
Hi. I'm listening to everybody, and everybody's making such amazing points, and they're all right on, spot on. And then I started thinking about what happened when the last speaker was talking about March of 2020, and I was thinking about what happened on March 29th, 2022, when my phone that morning, when my phone began to blow up, and everybody did exactly what I told them not to. When AMC starts to squeeze, don't text me, but saying it's happening, and suddenly it didn't. How much more are we supposed to take of that?
Here's the interesting thing, and this is my theory on March 29th, is that was 2 weeks before Melvin Capital announced they were going out of business, right? At that point in time, the IWM had over 4% of its short interest covered. 2 weeks later, Melvin Capital announced they're going out of business. That was Melvin covering their short position in the IWM, which caused a massive price spike, $34. But if you remember, I did a video where I did time and sales, and every single order was hitting the ask, but it was only going through the Citadel exchange. Citadel facilitated that covering, came back in, re-shorted AMC back down to that low $10 level because they knew people were going to sell if they saw a spike up past $30, and people did sell. That's why we saw the decline back down to $9.98 within the next month. They did it on purpose. So
that we need to investigate that tape too. I mean, you can't just go around manipulating. Look, there is no basic laws of supply and demand in this trade anymore. And I'm not a TA person. Someone just showed me how to use that, and I sent you, I think, the chart, the volume indicator, the on balance volume indicator. And so it shows AMC should be trading at like $35 based on the volume. And that it's trading $20 underneath, below that indicator price is just mind-blowing to me. And we really need to do, at this point, I don't care if there's MOAS. I want it to trade where it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. Through this investigation that the government did, with the report we have out, with Adam Aaron being more aggressive, like you guys saw his tweets today, the fact that he tweeted the report was huge. That is huge, right? But here's the thing. If we go in with our class action and we have our lawyers and investigators uncover stuff that leads to dark pool abuse and payment for order flow mismanagement, and that gives us power in Congress to get these things banned. We need, and what needs to happen, is Congress to come out, tell the SEC through mandate or law that no retail trades are to be allowed to go through the dark pool anymore. They need to unload the dark pool trades onto the open market. You will see our share price discovery. Is it D or Keith? Who's up next? We'll just go. We'll go with D.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Day.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up?
This is my first time speaking, Spence. So hopefully I don't turn you the wrong way.
I won't butcher. I've calmed down now.
I kind of just want to explain. I don't know, maybe the way that I would see things, the way that I see things, and on how I perceive it, on what I did, because you guys want to get a lawyer. That's fine and all, I guess. But me, I truly don't trust nobody. But the people that I get my information from because I cross-check from the community. You understand? Because what the community finds and what I come up with, it kind of everything all adds up. So, with against DTC and stuff like that, basically the community already figured out what we needed to do was to DRS our shares.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
No, I totally agree with it, man. I'm very, very bullish on DRSing shares. The funny thing is if the billions of synthetics are out there, I think the 4 million or so AMC investors that Adam Aaron has identified probably only need to do 20%. That's the funny thing. I think
That's
it's
probably so.
Go ahead.
But with you don't, when you DRS your shares and stuff, you don't really know that they're actually DRSing the shares that you actually bought on that day. You know what I'm saying? For that day and that price. So what I found out in the community, what we were doing was you would do a share transfer as a gift from you, from your owner's name into gifted to you in your name. So that way you have paper document that you're following on what share you bought on what day for what price with the CUSIP number.
I'm not completely sure about that because everything I've researched with ComputerShare is you transfer or buy shares with them, that goes to the book. It's registered with ComputerShare, which is, I've never crossed anything where you have to gift a share to yourself, which I don't even know if that's legal.
When with Fidelity, I went through Fidelity to DRS my shares with ComputerShare. All right. I went to Fidelity. I called up Fidelity and I told them I wanted to transfer my shares. I told them that I was going to transfer them as a share, transfer shares as a gift. Okay. I downloaded the paperwork for the transfer shares gift non-retirement. I downloaded that paperwork, filled out my Fidelity account number, receiving firm name was ComputerShare, investment name, was AMC, gave them the CUSPI number, gave them my lot acquisition date, my lot acquisition cost. I went down to Fidelity in person, handed them my paper, and they gave me back a copy with a stamp and everything saying, all right, it will be there. Now, that's how I personally made sure that the shares that I bought were actually the shares that I bought on that specific day, and that those are the ones that are going to go in my name in ComputerShare. Because everybody's saying that everybody basically knows that there's a lot more shares out there than what the float is.
Man, if you did that, that's in way more detail than I did. I know when I transferred my shares, they went to ComputerShare. I got all my numbers and receipts and everything. I can see them in my account. ComputerShare has very much told me that yes, these are DRS. They're on book. They're in your name. I didn't have any.
Yeah.
So,
but it gets pretty far into detail. Now with I don't getting a lawyer and everything. I guess that's good. That's what people would regularly do. But you got to kind of look at I look at it as me personally. I look at it as everybody's basically against the little people, and that's the way that I see it. So I'm kind of crossing my T's and dotting my I's with what's going on with these bigger people that I'm dealing with. I'm not no trader. I'm a first-time investor. I got into GameStop first, and I bought my first AMC shares on February 1st. I haven't sold not one share yet. I'm still holding on to my shares, but I don't know. There still needs to be a little bit more work done, with plan and book with ComputerShare. With plan, it's held in Computer Shares. Computer Share has like their own brokerage or something like that they're held there. They're held there in the DTCC's name. Now, if you tell Computer Share to get your shares into book, they're out of the DTC's name and it just goes straight to your name. If you basically leave it in plan, it's kind of like it's in the DTC's name to your name.
But wouldn't that then negate everything that Computer Share is about, like the direct registry?
Here's the thing.
Computer Share is a big company. This isn't the only thing that they do. They do lots of other different things that, you know, I didn't get too far into basically anything else that they do. I went into a couple of little things that they do for my situation that I'm dealing with now, you know. But I know that Computer Share is a big giant company. They're worldwide. You know, it's not some little corner lot store, you know, on fucking Manhattan in the corner, you know.
Yeah, they're global. They have tons of high level customers that they manage, basically manage share counts for like employees and stuff for. So yes, you want your shares on book with Computer Share. I didn't have to do that with Fidelity. Mine are on book when I transferred. I don't know when did you do yours?
I didn't have to do that with Fidelity neither, but that's what I went and did because I wanted to make sure that the stocks that I bought on that particular day for that particular price were the stocks that were going to Computer Share.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that with us. I'm very 100% for Computer Share.
Now back with the lawyer thing, you know, me personally, I get my information and I believe the information from the community. You know, I don't listen to the news. I'm not listening to little things here and there. I'm following things from the community and I'm double checking everything before I do things personally. You know, I live paycheck to paycheck, so I don't really have money to be throwing in. So what I have is something that I hold precious to me. All right.
Totally got you, man. A lot of people in the same boat, and appreciate you sharing that with us. Just like again, this lawyer thing we're doing, this has been discouraged for the past 13 months by random people in the community. And we have decided, us personally up here as shareholders, we decided we're going forward with it. If you want to join, you're welcome. And if not, no harm, no foul to you.
I understand. Like what I said, I'm more with the community that is saying that the DRS is gonna expose the fraud.
Well, I think the lawsuit will expose fraud as well. I mean, no matter, we could do it all. I mean, we are apes, and we will do it all. We have been doing it all. So DRS and a lawsuit. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, if we could expose at a faster rate or a wider scope, it's even better.
If I can
I understand. That's what I'm saying. But we can do the lawsuit and all that too. But you know, like other people were just saying, other people that aren't involved with our situation, they most likely could be buyed out, in my personal opinion. I hear about it, you know, judges being buyed out on certain things, you know, politicians being buyed out. You know, this is something that's something global, you know. Spence, you remember we had some guy a couple of nights, maybe last week or so, he was talking about if things go on the Ethereum blockchain, that things would be you know, everybody would be able to see it.
Yeah, we talked about that. We got to try to stay on topic here a little bit. I don't want to go down the and not to be rude, we can talk about it another call, but I don't want to go down the blockchain brokerage type thing tonight. We've been in here for a minute. I want to get to
all right, just one more thing.
Go ahead.
All right, one more thing. Now, if the shares are DRS in your particular name, right? And, you know, things just so happen that it's going to take a little bit longer, a year or 2, 3 years down the road or whatever. When the stock market does switch over and hopefully it goes to a decentralized blockchain, not a centralized blockchain, you know, everything will be exposed later on also. You know, it's just it's a big waiting game. Like when you start really looking into different things, and we could talk about it in different forums and things like that. You look into it and kind of look at the bigger giant picture of what's really going on, how things are going digital. You know, like kind of like computer share and all that stuff. That stuff's gonna have to all go on blockchain. Like that T0 thing that it was going to be going on that new Boston digital stock exchange thing. That Boston digital stock exchange. I know, but
we got to go back on topic, brother. I'm sorry. We've been up here for a while. We got another hand. And I want to get to closing points on this call before it goes too long.
I appreciate you guys letting me talk. It's my, like I said, it was my first time talking, and I kind of am a little jumbled up, but
you're good,
thank
man.
you. All right.
It's a very focused, topic focused tonight. Let's go to Renee, and then after Renee, I'm going to go to closing points and just kind of recap what we went over in the beginning for everybody.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak.
Yeah.
I'm a litigation paralegal. I work for a corporation. I don't know how much you know about class action lawsuits, but I could tell you I've been working on one for the last decade. And we are, the corporation I work for is one of the defendants. Okay, so it's a lot of money. You have to pull a lot of data. You have to hire experts, which the defense hires experts, the plaintiffs hire experts. You kind of more or less are at the mercy of the judge that is assigned to you, whether or not he's going to be plaintiff friendly or defendant friendly. And, I get this. Mad. The money in 2008, I'm losing my 40 now. I have my personal, I'm trying to hedge that. But at the end of the day, the plaintiff's attorneys, assuming they win, will buy another freaking yacht, and you're going to get pennies on the dollar.
It's not about. It's not about getting paid. It's about getting enough suit together, take legal action against these market makers and these hedge fund managers, brokers, to get Congress to dismantle them for their collusion in the RICO they committed in the acts on January. What did you say? What firm you work for?
I didn't hear what you asked.
Did you say which firm you work for? I missed it.
I don't work for a firm. I work for a corporation, which is a defendant in a class action lawsuit. And I could tell you only what I know. The attorney's fees are exorbitant.
Yep.
On both sides. And it's not just like making an allegation and having it heard. It's making an allegation, having the plaintiff attorney being savvy enough to ask for the right information. It takes experts years to go through this. I mean, and I'm not trying to say it shouldn't be done, but I'm just trying to say if you're looking for if you're just looking for corrections in the market, maybe that's the right way to go. If you're looking for, hey, I invested X amount of money and I want my money back plus some, it might not be the right way.
Here's the thing. We've already had one arbitration case, Robinhood, that was where plaintiff got their money back. Already 2 class action lawsuits currently being filed right now by 2 different legal companies. But the thing is if we go after this with the massive people who were wronged on Jan 28, demand more discovery past this, now that we have this GameStop report, which is rock solid evidence on not only collusion, but Ken Griffin and Vlad Tenev lying under Congress, then we can use this class action to get in and take more arbitration cases personally against brokers so people can reclaim some of their money. And that arbitration case only took 12 months. So
okay. And I joined like 10 minutes ago into this conversation, but I saw class action lawsuit and I'm thinking, oh no, you don't want to do that. But and maybe
title.
Okay.
That's what we've been talking about. So
okay, and I just want to tell you my experience as a litigation paralegal, where I collect information. I don't evaluate the information. I just collect it and send it on. But I do see the bills, and some of them can be phenomenal. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yep.
Thank you for letting me speak.
No, thanks for coming up. I would say 4 million apes losing money in the terms of $70 down to 10 probably would have covered it 10 times over. But I'm gonna go over the key points here just for everybody coming back into the call. One, we all know the story with Wes Christian where he was put on retainer months ago. There's still apparently a little bit of money left over, I think $25K. I'm going to call Wes Christian personally tomorrow, ask them where they're at on it, what they can do, and what we need to do. I'm also going to call Alta Miriano LLP in California, who's actively filing a class action against Robinhood. I'm going to contact Maxine Waters' office in DC. I'm also going to contact Senator Debbie Stabenow in Michigan, who is from my hometown. She's also on the Financial Services Committee. Then I'm also going to contact Share Intel to find out what they can do as far as their program to uncover stock flow and market fraud. They have programs for this. It's been brought up before. It's been brought to AMC's attention. So far, I don't think AMC has responded. And then once I get all that together, I'm going to come back on, do another call, let everybody know. I'm going to try to get Wes Christian on a call or the Share Intel people on a call to personally explain one-on-one to the community what's going on. But this idea that, well, it's going to take years or it's going to be this or it's going to be that, this is all the same stuff that was said 12 months ago. And since then, we have done nothing but watch Congress do this. And now the GameStop report is out and we were right about everything we said. If we would have filed something 12 months ago, we could now be in the discovery phase. So we basically just sat back. AMC is rocking. AMC is coming back fundamentally like nobody expected. We're probably going to be positive on earnings in Q2. But what happens Q2 when that drops and we have no price discovery? Everybody is going to be pissed. People are going to say fuck it and they're going to leave the play when we produce positive earnings and no price action. So it's time to do something. I appreciate everybody coming up and saying their piece. The people that came in to try to spread FUD and discourage, you got booted. You don't like it? Sorry. That's just how it goes. We stayed on topic as well as we could tonight. And Monday, I'm going to be making a bunch of phone calls and moving forward. You don't want to be part of it, don't be part of it. Go on about your business and your other calls or whatever, and sit and wait. Buy the stock and buy the movie, whatever. That's good on you. We're going forward with it. PJ and then Jake, and then I think that'll be our last speaker.
Yeah, I just have a quick statement. If anything comes out of this lawsuit, this class action lawsuit, imagine if nothing comes out of this class action lawsuit, but it breaks up Citadel, its business model, we would be so far ahead of the game as a community and as retail traders. We would be doing a favor for generations to come. So just keep that in mind too.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I don't want my kid 20 years from now dealing with the same shit that we've been dealing with today. And I also don't want to see people like, my mother. She was just getting ready to retire in the next couple of years. This GameStop incident, this AMC incident on January 28th has directly led to affecting people's 401ks, which are now down over 40%. The liquidation of blue chip stocks to meet margin requirements is draining people's 401ks. So my mom's going to have to go back to work for another 2 years now. She's ready to retire, man. Been a postal worker for over 23 years. It's insane. I don't want to be sitting here, and I know PJ doesn't want to be sitting here, and Jen, 10 years from now watching this happen again, and our retirement investment's gone. It's just crazy. So we're taking a stand. We're doing it now. Adam Aaron and AMC have done a phenomenal job. Everybody in the movement's done a phenomenal job of bringing AMC back to fundamental value, but we're not seeing price discovery. And it's because the stock is still being manipulated. There is nothing saying that these short sellers, these predatory shorts, are not still pressuring this liquidity drain on AMC like they did in the past. So it's just time to move forward. What's up, Jake?
What's up? So I'm gonna play a clip from the 2008 Hedge Fund Regulation Fund Managers Panel from the House Oversight Committee. Mr. George Soros is on the panel. So is Mr. Kenneth Griffin. This clip here is George Soros answering questions about derivatives and risk, and then I'll ask a question, and then I'll continue listening to the conversation. Thank you, Spence.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please help with.
At least the lack of visibility on over leveraging. Well, certainly the introduction of newfangled financial instruments has made it much harder to calculate leverage because some of those instruments are leveraged instruments. So, given all the derivatives introduced, calculating the leverage becomes a very, very complicated problem. And especially to have tailor-made instruments, then it becomes even more. So I think that it may be necessary to actually, well, certainly necessary for the regulators to understand what they are regulating. And if they don't, they should perhaps not allow some of the instruments to be used.
Can't. Exposure they have, or how to unravel. How are they going to calculate damages for that lawsuit? That's question number one. Question number two: what has been done since 2008 to prevent criminal activity by these hedge fund operators that were testifying on that oversight committee panel? And yes, statement. We are going to go cash flow positive in Q2. Q2 is going to be a massive quarter for AMC, and I'm looking.
So I'll say what has been done since 2008, obviously nothing. SEC and the US Congress have absolutely failed in their duties and their fiscal responsibilities to the United States and the United States citizens and global persons. US market affects global markets massively, as we can all see. What was your first question?
If they can't calculate their derivatives exposure and what they're doing with how are damages going to be calculated retroactively?
So damages isn't what this mainly is about. It's more about getting these people under the microscope to where we have the proper legal authority to take action on a government level. If we have a class action lawsuit that comes out, is not only approved in a court of law as being viable, especially with the GameStop information, then we can go to the U.S. Inspector General, ask for a specific investigation by the Department of Justice and possibly Homeland Security in on these market makers and brokers who are causing. U.S. economy is a national security risk. It's on the top 10 list of national security infrastructures, which they have continuously abused. And that's how you're going to take these guys down. Now, as far as damages, that's the beauty of the class action. If the class action gets in and is operating in one, we already know that there was one arbitration case won against Robinhood where they calculated damages back to the plaintiff through their account, through their brokerage account, and potential losses they would have incurred at a reasonable level. So there are people actually beating out Robinhood and getting money back. But as far as calculating damages, if they don't know their derivatives exposure, it's an impossible number to know until this whole thing blows up, which, in my opinion, the pressure of a class action, multiple class actions being taken on Robinhood as a broker, which might expose it more internal records between them and Citadel, is just another bullet in our gun to fire. So, but thanks for playing that clip, man. As soon as you said Soros and Griffin, I was like, yep, here we go. That was everybody should really go back and research. Jake made a good point. You don't know what happened in 2008 and you go back and learn what happened in 08, you'll understand what's happening today. Okay. I think that's it. No more hands. You know, I want to thank, even if you got booted from the call, or if you didn't, or if you thought I was mean to you tonight, I want to thank you for coming in. You stayed on topic pretty well. This was very productive discussion. I've got homework to do Monday to report back to all of you as soon as possible. As soon as I have the data, I'll host another space call. I'm going to figure out if we can get Wes Christian in here and the Share Intel guys. Then I'm going to start contacting the AMC board to figure out why, not to pressure them to do it, but to try to figure out why they have not contacted Share Intel at this point, if it's a legal reason or just company function. So that's my my talking points and my takeaway minutes for this. So Jen and PJ, you guys want to something?
Thank you so much. So that we get the facts out there, get ahead of any FUD. I shall back down this time. There's no. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming in, PJ. Your knowledge about Wes was way more than I had. Jen straight up chose violence and put that we were going to sue Citadel in the top of the space call.
I know what we're talking about, so I just.
I love you.
Well, if you guys don't hear from me tomorrow, it's because I got go smoke. Anyways, man.
Right now, so I'm about ready to peace out. But yeah.
Yeah, thanks for hosting. I'll try to do the call earlier next time. I keep forgetting East Coast times.
No big deal. No big deal. So thank you for letting me co-host. And you know, I'm interested in what comes out of tomorrow. I hope, Spence, you update us on your phone calls tomorrow.
I will. If I don't get all the information tomorrow, if it takes 2 or 3 days, I'll come out with it it's in a call. So we'll update everything.
Real quick, we do have one person requesting to come up. Should we let them up or just end this call?
Yeah, let him up. He can finish or
Okay.
whoever it is.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to say, Street?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll end the call then.
And effort.
No, thank you. Thank you.
I must have.
It's okay.
All good. Good way to end the call. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you all. Can't wait. We'll be hosting a big space call for that most. So I will see you on August 8th. Later.
Thanks, Spence. Bye, guys.
Good night. Come on.
All right, everybody. YouTube, thank you for coming. I'm sorry about the sex bot freaking comments nonstop. There's literally nothing. They keep changing their thing. I got to figure out how to manage that better. I've never seen, and there it is again. I have never seen such a bad problem with these bots than I have tonight, and it's most likely because of the title of the stuff in our call. It's absolutely ridiculous. We've already blocked them and deleted them, and they still keep coming in. It's just crazy. But anyways, thanks for coming. Please like, sub. I'm going to get all this done. I'm going to come back. I'm going to re-update everybody again on a video. But I'm moving forward. I'm sick and tired of this market corruption. I'm tired of the U.S. Congress not doing their jobs. It's absolutely insane. You guys all have a nice night. I'll see you at market open tomorrow. Ruggy Stonks out.